to see the multi-classing from Smoked Trout as well. Blizzo is a name that you'll recognize from the arena scene, known for his warrior and his windwalker, and now actually flag carrying, which is not what you would maybe expect from the arena players to pick such a pivotal role in the rated Battleground scene, but he's been doing an excellent job. We see him on the far side of the map, sneaking across, looking for a quick pick. Divinovic is on his tail, and he is sapped up by Nala. Jamu closing in as well, and Blizzo could be in a lot of trouble. We see Mackie moving in to save the day just in the nick of time with Fnobbers. Good support, good peels off from the Mistweaver Restoration Druid. That is the advantage they bring with that extra mobility. In the meantime, we see Thasia getting crowd control into Bublovic. He has Berserking, so his damage is going to be increased, which means Sona could be in trouble as he is having a difficult time even just making it across the map, Zico.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to make his way towards that graveyard and jump up there. He should be okay for now, but if Tessia gets any greater Pyroblast off, he could be in big trouble. He's going to go ahead and jump even further away towards the flag room, and now he's a little bit far away from his healers, but he should be okay ultimately. Blizzo on the flip side has just picked up the flag as well. He's going down the tunnel. He even has a speed buff to help him out with that, and we do see a couple of players kind of just annoying Divinovic here over at ramp as well.
Yep, Divinovic having a bit of a difficult time connecting to his target. I'm curious to see which Demon Hunter is able to make it across midfield. Obviously, they're going to be kiting figure eights around the graveyard using the cliff to try and escape to safety. And the advantage that Smoked Trout's team brings is that the Restoration Druid with Wild Charge and the Mistweaver with Transcendence can actually portal up that Z-axis with their flag carrier, whereas the Paladin and the Shaman cannot. So we do expect the advantage to be for Smoked Trout as they engage crowd control, immediately going after Sona, bringing him down below half. Both healers perfectly crowd controlled, but even still, maybe not enough stacks just yet. That 20%, meaning that this Demon Hunter Sona is taking 20% more damage, and as it gets higher, obviously, he continues to take increasingly more damage. Cyclone's at low health, denying the heals, and this is the crowd control that I was talking about from Smoked Trout. It's sort of the pre-match period of time that Cyclone and Polymorph from Thasia and Fnobbers is going to be critical to their team's victory. Their composition overall, I give them the edge. The only real surprise factor will be that Retribution Paladin. Perfect Hibernate from Fnobbers. Blind now on Bublovic. Once again, isolating Sona on that Demon Hunter, but he's just so far away from the fight. They're trying to make their way there while controlling the healers in midfield. In the meantime, we haven't really seen any pressure onto Blizzo just yet. He seems to be chilling. It's really Sona that's having a tough time. If they aren't able to kill off the DPS members in time and protect them, it could be difficult. Sona jumping up towards the graveyard. Smurtex is shadow stepping up. Will Sona be able to escape? He tries to pre-death from above on the jump. He almost got it there. That could have been critical to get a kill. Actually, I think that would have netted him a kill. 1 second off that preemptive move. Sona's still at low health, and his healer's unable to recover. If they can connect to Sona, he will be in dire straits, but obviously an easier said than done task against the Vengeance Demon Hunter.
Yeah, and Tessie actually flanks him right now, so I think Smurtex should have a Shadow Step up pretty soon. Fnobbers is doing a great job crowd controlling everyone. Nice low Cyclone. If they can, I think he can connect. If he connects here, they could easily take down Sona. Nice blind there, though, from Bublovic. Should be able to help Sona out in this situation. He's going to go ahead and leap towards the tunnel. Gets the Blessing of Freedom. Smurtex, though, might connect with the kidney shot. Doesn't manage to.
Ooh, we see Blizzo in a smoke bomb. Big attempt here by Nala. That extra damage from the Retribution Paladin could be the X factor for the team to get a kill. Blizzo needs to try and escape to safety using that trample, moving across the map at high speeds, looking for a jump here shortly. I would imagine if Nala connects, the Mistweaver is in a Cyclone, unable to heal. Blizzo's running up the ramp, desperately to escape to safety. Looks like he's managed to at least close the distance. Mackie likely to get up to his side here shortly. In the meantime, Sona on the opposite side of the map is still struggling to deal with Smurtex as polymorphs are secured onto the Restoration Shaman. We wait to see if crowd control can be utilized here on the Bublovic. Fnobber's making his way back to Smurtex. Needs to make sure that Smurtex stays alive if they want to keep up their offense. He's quite far away, and Bublovic and Sona are doing good work towards Smurtex. Fnobber's finally connecting. We see a blind onto Bublovic. Sona jumping over the fence to escape to safety, and Nala in trouble on offense. If they lose the rogue on offense, they're going to lose all momentum, any real opportunity to kill Blizzo. This is a huge power play opportunity for Smoked Trout to get a kill on Sona. We now see the debuff at 100% increased damage taken, full advantage to Smoked Trout, and this is Danger Town for Bigburstovic.
Yeah, if Sona, he needs to get away from Smurtex as soon as possible. He's going to have another kidney shot ready any second. He cloaks actually for that route to try to get the Shadow Step kidney shot, but I don't think he's going to be able to connect to him at this point in time. Someone actually going back to not kite his healers here, and I think Smurf's about to stun him up. Tessia here with combustion, forcing out the trinket. The stun on the trinket. This could be easily the danger time for Sona as he goes down. They're going to return the flag, and now can we see if Blizzo can cap this? He's getting stopped by Nala. Potentially could be someone picking this up for him.
Yeah, if someone can pick up the flag, although at 120% increased damage taken, even if they can do so, that target is likely to die quite quickly if it is not the Vengeance Demon Hunter, as Blizzo still continues to make his way downtown. Can they pick up the flag to at least deny it? They do. Divinovic has picked it up, but he will be taking 130% increased damage. Even Blizzo on the Vengeance Demon Hunter may be able to find a kill onto that target. We see Wally doing his work there in the backline. Divinovic likely to go down, and he does. Flag cap for Smoke Trout, #1. Or sorry, my score screen is reversed here on the alliance. I do believe Smoke Trout capping first point here, and now they will have the advantage. However, if they are tied, I'm wondering if our rules are, if it's a tie, it goes to the person who capped most recently on live rules, but I'm not sure if it's a 1-1 cap, that's a tie. Sona currently still just getting wiped up, and Smoke Trout, just compositionally, they have the edge. There were some surprise factors early on towards Blizzo, but he was able to just navigate away, and I think having that, it's very vital to have a Mistweaver on these flag-carrying maps. It's, in my opinion, the only healer that can keep up with a Vengeance Demon Hunter, move across the map appropriately, and the Shaman and the Holy Paladin just fall behind in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the downside as well of having a ret against the Demon Hunter. I mean, you always have the threat of if you reach Blizzo, he's going to get deleted. But the problem is it's really, really hard to reach Blizzo. And now, speaking of that, Blizzo is mounting up, running towards the room, and he's going to go ahead and pick up the flag. We see a fight erupt here, and Orcs don't die. He's in big, big trouble, Sid.
I mean, Orcs don't die, it's in his name. Let's see if he can back it up here. Nala low on health as well in midfield, just getting owned by Walrix, getting caught out of position. Nala using the Vanish, escaping to safety for now, but if they can take out the Rogue, that is all of their offense effectively. The kidney shot is where you see the kill windows for each opposing team, so you can't afford to lose your Rogue. Nala still in stealth, navigating across, maybe looking for an intercept to try and support, or try and intercept Blizzo. Nobody else backing him up, though. He's all up there just alone. Divinovic now making his way over. They go for the kidney shot. They're looking for the bursty kill. Mackie not in any crowd control. We need to see some control onto that Mistweaver, else it's going to be easy healing for Blizzo. Sona is still low on health in midfield as we see Thasia going after him. Bublovic, though, able to back him up, moving towards the graveyard. Nala still in trouble. Once again, you have to make sure your Rogue stays alive. Nala is so low, trying to shadow step over to Smurtex, who's in range really to save him. Bublovic wants to go heal Sona, but Nala's going in the opposite direction. He's going to have to make a choice. Now he's in a polymorph. Orcs Don't Die is trying to support. Smurtex is still low on offense on the opposing side, although unlikely to go down as he does recover. We do finally see some crowd control onto Mackie and Fnobber's. Very important to get crowd control onto the healers in this particular matchup. It seems unlikely that the Vengeance Demon Hunters will go down elsewise before at least around a 100% damage stack. So look for that box next to the health. If there's a number counting down, it means that that player is crowd controlled, unable to commit any actions. So for the healers, that would be saving their teammates. Fnobbers is in a Cyclone. Jama with some good crowd control, but Nala unable to really escape. Walrix on this Unholy Death Knight is just focused so much on disruption. He's often with his team on defense. It's an interesting strategy. Nala likely to go down here, and he does. That's going to be all offense lost. Now Sona in a lot of trouble on the run with Bublovic and Orcs Don't Die. Deja and Smurtex, that Rogue Mage synergy. It's effectively the two of them against two healers and the Vengeance Demon Hunter. Can the Mage Rogue synergy be enough? Knobbers is now moving up. Now it's going to be a Mage Rogue Druid, and that is a lot of crowd control, Zico.
Yeah, and Sona looks like he's going to be making it out here with Bublovic, and that was actually the Blessing of Protection as well there when Nala went down, so they're not going to have that cooldown available to kind of help out later on in the offense. Now we see a push finally happening on towards Blizzo. Sona looks like he's going to be in complete chill mode. Smurtex chasing after him, but I don't think he's going to be able to reach him anytime soon, and even if he does, it's just Fnobbers there, no mage yet to back him up. On the flip side, Blizzo as well has made it to that classic spot at the graveyard that we see these demon hunters go to. He's kind of just hanging out as well, trying to kite an incoming attack here. We're going to see Divinovic actually making his way there. That scary red paladin, if he can ever reach Blizzo, he could be in big trouble. Now, Blizzo is trying to make his way away, and Nala actually reaches him. If Divinovic can bubble and just go for it, he might go down.
He is going to fall. Sona is Cyclone. Fnaubers is trying to save the day by crowd controlling for his team to be able to pick up the flag. They need to prevent Sona from making his way over or kill him right now. Bublovic and Orcs Don't Die have no Gliders medallions, but Smurtex and Thasia are moving towards the flag room, at least to try and deny the cap for now. Will they be able to is the question. This is very surprising from Bigburstovic, that Retribution Paladin paying its weight in gold there to get a kill onto Blizzo. They've managed to at least pick up the flag on Smurtex, but he is taking 100% increased damage. If any member of the team can intercept him, he will easily be going down. They still have good control on Sona. And the other thing is that if your rogue is carrying the flag, you're going to lose all offense. You're never going to kill Sona without the rogue there. So Smurtex needs to transfer this flag over to Blizzo as soon as possible, but that's a dangerous thing to do when the opposing team is surrounding you to drop the flag. The enemy team can return it. Smurtex is trying to get some damage out onto Divinovic rather than jumping down into the dangerous center field where Jamu is sitting in stealth on that balance druid. And it could just be Incarnation, couple Star Surges, and Smurtex is going to just get taken out. And if Sona's in position to cap, this could be a 1-1 score, and it's looking a lot more evenly matched than in the earlier parts of this game. I'm very curious to see if Bigburstovic can pull this off. Jamu making his way over. That balance druid with the Star Surges is going to be very important to kill Smurtex. Smurtex is trying to transfer the flag. Can they get the transfer over to Blizzo safely? Smurtex is stunned up. It's a risky move to do it, but I don't think they can heal a rogue through this type of damage. Life Cocoon connects. It needs to be enough. They're trying to kill at the same time. Nala low on health. Maybe they can just kill Null. If they can just wipe them up, even with Smurtex holding the flag, this is very impressive from Smoke Trout.
Yeah, and it looked like Smurtex was actually lagging a little bit there, but he appears to be playing, so he's going to be running across, and I actually can't believe that he's still alive. He should be dead in that
stun. Got it.
So much healing, and they actually killed down Nala as well. That should be the majority of the offense. They also swapped the flag there, so this is looking really good now for Smoke Trout if they can get an attack going.
All right, Smoke Trout, it was looking like dire straits there, but Smurtex able to get the flag despite a little bit of lag, able to transfer it over to Blizzo. Now he can go on offense, which is exactly what Smoke Trout need to find victory. We see Walrix on this Death Knight is trying to focus on crowd controlling and peeling this Retribution Paladin from getting across the map with Chains of Ice. Nala is in stealth, but we see Sona stun locked up, and it's a Rogue Mage Druid. The crowd control is endless. Sona gets crushed. Blizzo is crossing map. There's no one there. Jamu is out of position, but Blizzo is slowed from the flag pickup, so maybe Jamu can make it over. He's got Berserking and potentially take Blizzo out before he is able to cap. It's looking unlikely. Nala not able to get there, and somehow, some way, Smoke Trout able to pull that back together, even with the Retribution surprise kill on Blizzo earlier. MVP Smurtex with the transfer, despite even having a little bit of technical difficulties, now leads 2-0, and with only 6 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock, I'm not sure if Bigburstovic can pull this off anymore.
Yeah, it was looking like they could tie it up for us, but wasn't the case. Now we see Blizzo caught up in a kidney shot, but he's going to be able to just sit that one through, get a couple of heals, and now he's going to be kiting everybody, including Divinovic. He needs to always stay away from Divinovic. He gets a nice little fear on him, and he keeps making his way down actually towards the middle, and he's going to go and pick up the next flag. Now we see Sona on the flip side in the tunnel as well, taking the speed buff, and he's making his way as well. You see Nala actually in big trouble here. He might go down with that flag swap. He manages to swap it over to Sona, and he gets a couple of hits from Bublovic. He should be fine. But Tessia is waiting in that tunnel. That tunnel, not the place where you want to be if you're Sona. He's going to need to jump out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, beautiful flag transfer. Even though he's in the tunnel, a confined space for the Demon Hunter, I think with no stacks that he should more than easily get out, outside of maybe some greater pyroblasts and perfect crowd control. I'm curious to see if they can execute on that. We do see Nala taking quite a hit, once again going after the rogues, trying to remove that offensive playmaker from the opposing teams. Smurtex is stunned up as Nala desperately tries to escape. Bublovic sitting through extended crowd control, but now broken out and free to heal Sona. Fnaubers is just trying to slow. I love Walrix's play on this Death Knight. Normally we see him on the Warlock, but his Death Knight, his Chains of Ice, his positioning defensively with the team has been perfect, relying on the Rogue Mage Druid for offense. I really like the strategy that Smoke Trout have brought to the table here on this Warsong Gulch play. Nala still getting targeted down by Smurtex. Bublovic moving over to save. Holy Light connects once. We have to see if Orcs Don't Die can get there. Nala going for a blind onto Smurtex. That's going to remove almost all offensive capability. Nala, he's going to be desperate now to try and find any openings for the team. Orcstone dies in a polymorph. Divinovic getting swapped too. Big Pyroblast in from Thasia. Thasia really spreading his damage, trying to catch the healers off guard. Cyclone's out from Fnobbers. Nala still just getting punished by Walrix. Sona's in a safe spot for now, far away from the fight, but if Smoke Trout can clean up the team fight in mid and then push forward, he will not be, and it'll be a clean sweep 3-0 if that is the case. Now, Jamma, he's got Berserking. He's in stealth, and he's sneaking towards Blizzo. Curious to see if the nice spectral sight from Blizzo, he finds Jammu, pulls him out of stealth. He's not going to get caught off guard by that, but maybe still Mackie with the Transcendence in the line of sight, able to connect some heals, fake cast the kick of Nala, and unless Jamma can get a Cyclone here, Nala already used Blind, so Mackie will be sitting comfortably. And there's the wild charge from Fnobbers. This is the advantage. Whereas Orcs don't die, he's a shaman. He's just stuck on the bottom. He can't go anywhere. Fortunately, they aren't moving the fight. They should move the fight away from here on the ledge. That way Orcs don't die can't heal whatsoever. Divinovic dipping low. Walrix is dipping low as well on the opposing side of the map. Could be a bit of a kill trade here between the teams as we come down to the final 4 minutes.
Yeah, and that was a really nice Illidan's grasp as well, throwing everybody off. And now Nala caught up in a kidney shot, and he should be in big trouble here. He might actually go down completely. We're going to see if they have the damage to back it out. They do. Smartex claims that one. Now Divinovic as well. Warwick has just been annoying him the entire game. He's going to force out the Divine Shield here from Divinovic. So that's a big cooldown as well that Blizzard won't have to worry about later on if he decides to go aggressive. And then we see Sona as well, just chilling in the flag room, kind of just staying back, trying to survive, give his team as much time as possible to take down Blizzo. And Blizzo, he looks like he is fine, but there is a regroup happening here. Jammu and Nala probably going to initiate another attack pretty soon as we see Divinovic go down. So they're staggering the reses here. I really don't see a comeback happening here. I mean, they have 2 minutes and they need to wait for Divinovic's res as well.
Yeah, they've got to regroup, go for a push, but even then, at best, I see them getting one more cap. There's not enough time, and I mean, Fnobbers even knows that. That's why we don't see him on offense. He is focused on defense. It's all about stalling for Smoke Trout. They'll have an easy victory so long as they can prevent them from connecting to Blizzo. The Vengeance Demon Hunter is just an all-utility belt flag carrier with the Spectral Sight to see any stealth attacks. Blizzo has denied Jammu from surprise attacks, which would be the X factor that their team brings at the Balanced Druid. And Blizzo just denies it with a Spectral Sight and the perfect kiting between the Mistweaver Druid and Vengeance Demon Hunter. I mean, they've just got the entire package. So they're going to have to rely on some pretty big hits or maybe Blizzo's misplay. But even if they do manage to get a kill, they still have to cap one more flag after that. With 2 minutes left on the clock, they're going to make one final push, but Orcs don't die is caught in center field. Big Greater Pyroblast. They're going to be down a healer on their push, I do believe, with Walrix and Thasia just having free reign on Orcs don't die. Maybe he can make it out alive. Not going to be able to. It's do or die to kill Blizzo. We see Blind on Fnobber, Solar Beam on Mackie, perfect crowd control by Jammu onto both healers. That should potentially net them a kill. If they had this type of play earlier on, potentially they could have found victory, but Blizzo doesn't even go down to that. Mackie is going to save the day. Fnobbers and Mackie chasing down Blizzo. Ring of Peace denying entrance to the room. Perfect knockback positioning here from Smoke Trout. Just total domination in game number 1 as we see Smoke Trout tapping out, members leaving the match. But now it will be their map selection, and this is the thing between the arena teams that we see so dominantly in the arena scene. When we go to other maps like Silver Shard Mines, which focuses a lot more on strategy in the rated Battleground scene, that's where we see them start to fall apart. So I'm more than interested to see what map we go to from Bigburstovic. They definitely have the potential to take out Smoke Trout, but in this match in particular, Smoke Trout just able to recover from their mistakes quite easily and played a solid match.
Composition, maybe the Boomkin as well.
Yeah, Balanced Druid I think is a decent flag carrier, especially with the increased healing received in bear form as Lurtex is likely running. We see Sona on the far side of the map picking up an orb for the team. Usually we don't see the orb carriers pick up this early. They usually battle in mid and then pick up, so this could be a bit risky for either team should they get completely wiped up. Very interested to see. We see them connect onto Sona. Can they save them in time? Cooldowns exchanged. Sona in the dispersion is soaking up a ton of damage, but multiple Gladiators Maledicts incoming onto Sona. Lurtex gets bursted out of nowhere. Huge hit, big advantage for Bigburstovic as Divinovic is going to pick up the orb once again if they can get a kill on Sona. No dispersion to protect him for some time now at 90% increased damage taken. Thasia getting eradicated. I would say the team fight is heavily in favor of Bigburstovic. If they can clean this up, then they should be able to start establishing a point lead. 3 members of the team low on health, and this composition is looking devastating. Spirit Link Totem, well trade there, easy recovery, but even still, Sona at half. Deja getting bursted. Mana really taxed heavily. Knobbers. Sona likely to go down here as the orb is dropped. Who can pick it up? Blizzo on that Demon Hunter making his way over, but Nala trying to intercept, gets imprisoned. Blizzo gets rooted, gets dispelled instantly, but Nala will pick up first, and despite being behind on points, with that pickup now and 2 orbs, they could come back into the fight. We do see Divinovic the target, and with Warsong dying a stun is going to fall. Now we only with 1 orb. Blizzo making his way across, as well as Mackie trying to pick it up, but it looks like Jamu is able to pick up the orb once again. The orb pickups definitely in favor of Bigburstovic.
Yeah, that was such a clutch pickup there for Jamu. He actually got incapacitated, and then they broke it, unfortunately. So that allowed him to go and pick that up. And Nala now, with the orb, is taking huge amounts of damage. I think he potentially could be going down as well as Jamu. This could be 2 orb advantage, but no, immediately drops the orb and repicks that up. Sona now should have his dispersion as well. Honestly, this is so expertly played here by Bigburstovic. The 2 paladins as well, making so big impact in that first fight with all the cooldowns that they add on top of that Shadow Priest dispersion, and it's going to net them a massive lead as we see finally 1 orb getting picked up here by Warwicks.
Yeah, that's a big lead to try and surmount over. Can they pull it off? Sona in a stun lock, in a bit of trouble. If there was an opportunity for Smoke Trout, it would be here and now. They do have a significant mana advantage. Potentially they could fully wipe the team if they can maintain that moving forward. Sona is likely to drop the flag as we see Lurtex in position to pick it up, but Sona just refuses to die, and now Lurtex is out of position to do damage, and Walrix is in trouble. Huge hits incoming, somehow managing to recover. The darkness dropped by Blizzo, immuning the incoming pressure and saving his teammate. Deja stunned in it as well, but now they come out, they connect. Void Shift over to Bubblevic, buying a couple of seconds, but Sona falls. Who's able to pick up the flag? Lurtex is able to pick it up first over Nala, as Nala is rooted up. Great crowd control. Now Lurtex making his way back into midfield. It's going to be a dog pile in center for all of this fight. Neither team is afraid to go head-to-head. Walrix has fallen. Kills onto both sides. Mana's almost totally tacked. Knobber's really the only one with any left. Blizzo moves over, gets the orb pickup, but Divinovic is right on top of him. Rebukes Mackie, denying some heals. Knobber's healing by himself right now as Mackie's crowd controlled. Does get dispelled out of the incoming Hammer of Justice. Chaos Bolt's flying in towards Lurtex. That bear farm, super effective at soaking magic damage, just soaking damage in general, but Nala has now connected. Deja's on his back to try and peel away. It may not be enough. Diminishing return kidney shot, but it doesn't even matter. Green Orb is down. Divinovic's making his way over, and Red Paladins aren't known for their mobility, but maybe he can make it. He's stunned up by Blizzo. Ring of Peace denies it, but Sona comes in from the side, from the graveyard to pick up the orb, continuing their advantage. Blizzo is in desperation in center field. Life Cocoon from Mackie appears to be enough to stabilize him for now. Deja is trying to find a kill onto Sona by himself. Orcs Don't Die sitting down for a drink. He managed to get some mana. Very important for the team to stay in the fight. Blizzo will fall, and the lead continues to develop for Bigburstovic. It's crazy to see these teams so evenly matched. I would have imagined that the well-veteraned arena players would be just demolishing their foes here in this particular matchup, but it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's been so nice to see how fast they are at repicking up that flag, and as I say that, Warwicks actually makes it through to pick it up, so a little bit good here for Smoke Trout that they finally got that onto him. But on the flip side, Sona as well has the flag. Now Sona has a couple of more stacks, so he could potentially go down, but they have a lot of cooldowns to work through as they force out that dispersion. They still have some of those Holy Paladin cooldowns potentially to work with as well. Warwicks doesn't have his anti-magic shell as well for a little bit, so he's going to be taking big damage here from Divinovic on that Red Paladin. If he can stay on target, Warwick surely should go down here. And the question is, are they ready to pick it up? Who's going to get it? Blizzard's making his way over there. He gets Death Card. Nala gets the flag pickup. Really nice here once again.
Ooh, Blizzo in trouble. Well, Nala has increased damage from that orb, but Mackie once again saving the day. Orcs Don't Die in a bit of trouble here in midfield, trying to recover. Should be able to, no one on him. We see Chaos Bolts flying in towards Fnobbers as Jamu tries to set up a swap, killing the healer. Now totally tapped on the side of Smoke Trout. Mana in favor of Bigburstovic. Points in favor of Bigburstovic. Likely going to be going to a game 3, but Nala in a bit of trouble. They blind up Blizzo, denying his reconnect, trying to hold out for a little bit longer. Lurtex stunned up. He's in trouble. There's no mana on the healers. Lurtex goes down. Deja in position though. Picks up the orb instantly, but Divinovic on that Retribution Paladin's hunting him. Deja escapes with that sprint. Mackie ports out. He's sitting down for a drink, but that means he can't heal. Fnaubers is in stealth on the map as well, so there's no healers in mid, which means that they could get wiped out, but if they don't get mana, they're going to lose anyway. Fnaubers gets a little bit, moves back in, but not in time. Thasia's going to fall. Advantage still in favor of Bigburstovic. Mackey's trying to get some mana. Sona picks up the orb. Huge lead now for Bigburstovic. You see silence on Fnaubers as his Gliders medallion has been worked through. Mackey's going to have to be the MVP healer, but he's in a fear. Nala in a bit of trouble in midfield. He could get taken out by Blizzo, holding on by Thread. Chaos Bolt's onto Walrix as he's trying to make it out and deny Divinovic from an orb pickup potentially. Lurtek's in position. He's going to pick it up. Potentially an opportunity for comeback, but they're just so far off at this point. There's still not enough mana. Potentially Smoke Trout needed to go for drinks sooner. It's just total chaos here towards the final seconds, but likely at this point that Bigburstovic is going to be taking it. They need a miracle. Sona's at 90% increased damage. A lot of damage, but Mackie saves the day. Perfect timing, but Fnaubers is still totally tapped. It's only one healer, and there's 3 damage dealers. Mackie moving over. Fnaubers not able to find it. Sona goes down. Lurtex goes down. Very limited point income now at this point, but with such a deficit, how are you going to do it, Smoke Trout? You would have to pick up both orbs right now and never die for the rest of the match. But they've done it. Both healers, though, have the flags, and both healers have no mana.
Yeah, this is trouble time for Fnaubers as he's making his way down to the middle in that bear from trying to tank out a few hits. You see Maxi, he's porting out of the middle, which means he's only going to be generating 1 point for his team. He needs to get back down there. Orcs don't die, trying to hex him, trying to zone him off here from healing Fnaubers, and Fnaubers should go down as a result of that, and he does. Blizzo, though, very quick with the repick up here for Smoke Trout. Maxi needs to get down into the middle. This stall-based strategy is not really going to work for them, but at the same time, everyone on the side of Bigburstovic is waiting there in the middle. The stacks are just ramping up right now for Smoke Trout, and they are going to go down if they don't make the points count here. You can see him, Blizzo, making his way down to the middle, trying to kite around, trying to survive, and he gets the rain from above in the middle. Beautiful play here by Blizzo, but Maxi, a lot of stacks on him. Preemptive life cocoon. Is it going to be enough, Sid?
I don't know if it's going to be. Blizzo comes down. Who's going to get the pickup? It's all about the pickup. Lurtex gets it. They're denying him, but you do get points for kills. So potentially Bigburstovic could win just on getting kills. Lurtex gets clotheslined with the Retribution Paladin smacking him down. Unlikely to survive. Fnaubers trying to save the day. He's got full mana but gets hexed. Lurtex needs a dispel on this hex. He's not getting dispelled on the hex. Thasia is still low on health. Fnaubers sits through that, and Lurtex is likely to die as a result. He is going to fall, and Sono with the pickup, and likely to be the match here as Thasia falls. There's going to be no offense, and any amount of income at this point with such a huge lead is going to take it. Big mistakes there on Lurtex. He didn't want to lose the defense of the bear form, but he had to dispel his healer out of that hex. They may have been able to pull it off. They paused the points for so long to try and keep their team alive in this tournament, but Bigburstovic are going to be taking it. Wait longer to use them again. Whereas Smoke Trout, their cooldowns are not necessarily guaranteed survival, but they can rotate them more frequently. And really, Bigburstovic stay true to their name, not only with damage, but defense as well. Seeing these strategies go head-to-head, I really want to see who plays on defense here. Bublovic is actually capping the flag, but Nala is sitting back. That means Bublovic is going to be slightly behind getting to the team fights. Bigburstovic may regret that moving forward.
Yeah, and we saw Nala yesterday actually made so many good plays there on that defense. So we're going to see if anybody tries to go over there. It looks like Smirtix right now is making his way towards Waterworks as we see a fight initiated here. Tessia getting locked down here, trying to get out some greater pyroblast, but a lot of interrupts here on the side of Smoke Trout. We see Sona as well, caught up in some cyclones, some CC. Divinovic, he's going to be the focus here. And usually we actually see Bublovic as the main target for Smoke Trout and the other teams in those team fights. It usually pays off targeting the Holy Paladin, but right now Fnaubers is going to crowd control him up, and they are instead going to put their focus towards Orcs Don't Die. Not going to be able to find much going on there as he stands in a meteor as well to avoid CC. It just looks like they are going to be going after this red for now.
All right, points slightly in favor here for Smoke Trout by just 1 point. Slightly delayed cap there by Bigburstovic, which actually might put them on a bit more of a clock. You see cooldowns traded out, and Sona in a bit of a trouble early on. Greater Pyroblast being channeled. Denial by Orcs Don't Die. Greater Pyroblast and Chaos Bolt going to be high priority, but they make a swap. Blizzo sees an opportunity, but he's overextended. Very good swap to Blizzo. Definitely want to be paying attention to any melee going after your healers. When they overextend, they become the best target to attack. Blizzo can't keep up the chase. unlikely to be able to keep up the chase on the Orcs Don't Die. Instead, switching targets to Bubblevic. Walrix backing him up with a Chaos Bolt. Fnobbers moves in with the Haymaker, knocking Orcs Don't Die away from the fight and potentially into a Cyclone. Great cyclone here on Orcs Don't Die. Bubblevic is isolated. He has to heal all by himself. Jamu is trying to slow down the pressure with Fear onto Thasia. It is pausing it out, but Thasia got a counterspell. Bubblevic still can't heal. Orcs Don't Die has to save the day. Is this going to be the Vital Spirit Link Totem? Doesn't look like it. Not enough damage to force over just yet. Thasia is now overextended. Caught into a Capacitator Totem. Chaos Bolts are flying in. Nice catch by Jamu. That is going to get them an Ice Block. Great play by Bigburstovic.
Yeah, Orcs Don't Die there. If he didn't win share that polymorph, he would have been in big trouble. And, big Divinovic would have gone down. But instead, he manages to stop that and kind of turn everything around with that beautiful Cap Totem as well. We see Sona again caught up in a counterspell. They're doing a pretty good job here at Smoke Trout, trying to shut down that Shadow Priest sustain damage, just crowd controlling Sona as much as possible and not really playing into that defense of the Shadow Priest. Orcs Don't Die now, taking quite a bit of damage. If Tessia can get a polymorph, it could be big trouble. Nice spell here onto Bubblevic. Orcs Don't Die though, sneaking in a nice hex here onto Tessia. He could still be in big trouble. He might go down right here, Sid.
Beautiful, but that Demonic Gateway, I actually wanted to highlight where the Demonic Gateways are. So for Bigburstovic, it goes over the river up Z-axis. You're almost never going to be able to chase the target after they've taken that. Fnobber's in a bit of trouble here, though, by Divinovic on that Retribution Paladin. Caught into a full Hammer of Justice. Silence, perfect cross-crowd control. Good execution overall by Bigburstovic as they desperately try and get a kill, but they're not going to get it. They get denied. But the Demonic Gateway positioning from both teams goes across a river. You're never going to be able to catch anyone that escapes using that tool. So great positioning by both teams in terms of escape. Mana significantly in favor of Bigburstovic, but I would say pressure overall in favor of Smoke Trout. That's going to be attributed to the greater Pyroblast Chaos Bolt combo with the extra crowd control most certainly. But if they can just stay alive and tap Fnobbers on mana, you may have to use the Demonic Gateway to get a drink and then not have it to escape later on. They are positioned far back at the Demonic Gateway. Fnobbers is trying to move over. Very curious to see if they can pull it off. Bigburstovic, they're the ones really on the clock because it might only be a 1-point lead, but that 1 point is going to cap 1 second faster. So Bigburstovic have to win the fight. It's not going to be a tie. So if they can't manage to get a kill, it's going to be curtains. Fnobbers has managed to sneak away, regenerate full mana, so the mana advantage that they had established has now been lost, and it's looking more troublesome for Bigburstovic. They're trying to get some surprise damage onto Walrix, but he's able to deflect with a double Mortal Coil of his own. Totally denied. Both teams begin to stabilize, and if you're Bigburstovic, you may start to consider ghosting your node and maybe trying to send your rogue to ninja a base, or even just bring them into the team fight because they have to win, even though it's only 1 point. That slightly delayed cap on the side of Bigburstovic could lose them the game.
Yeah, and they're going to definitely have to contend with that. But for now, they have actually been losing the team fight. It feels like Bigburstovic, they haven't really been able to find a good target for them. They've been going after Warwicks, and he even uses Unending Resolve offensively. And they have been trying to do a couple of swaps to Fnobbers, but it's not really worked out for him. They forced out the Ice Block of Tessia, but they haven't really gone back to him either. And now Tessia casting out a couple of Focus Greater Pyroblasts right there. And he's going to throw them at Jamu, who doesn't have a shield wall. A nice counterspell there secured. He's hard casting a Pyroblast though, which is a little bit strange there. A bit of a misplay there. Orcs Don't Die though. Gonna get away to safety. He should be fine. I would like to see Fnobbers maybe push in and try to double crowd control these two healers and go after one of the DPS, switch it up a little bit, because it feels like the team fight has gone a little bit stale. Divinovic caught up in a little bit of poly spam. Sona finally getting quite a bit of damage out, and as long as Fnobbers keeps getting these strengths, it feels like Smoke Trout can just kind of withstand this this team fight potential that they brought here on the side of Bigburstovic.
Crowd control engagement here by Bigburstovic, as it looks like they want to go after Mackie, but not able to find the kill. Thasia in midfield, Jamu trying to free cast, Blizzo rolls over. Blizzo is going to focus on disruption. I mean, if I was Smoke Trout, I would almost just focus solely on setting up drinks safely, maintain your mana, and just hold. Even with 1 point advantage, all you have to do is hold. Although now with crowd control to Bubblevic, Dragon's Breath 1 second too late, but it may not matter. Void Shift from Sona is going to save Orcs Don't Die, but the Holy Paladin Bubblevic is interrupted. Double interrupt timing by Thasia and Walrix. Perfect momentum here to get a kill. Orcs Don't Die in trouble. Bubblevic able to save the day for now and recover. Polymorph onto Sona. I almost don't like that. Walrix is actually Chaos Bolting him. Sona may have just died there if that Polymorph with Sona wasn't casted. I'd be a little bit angry if I was Walrix right now. That might be a dead Shadow Priest. Bit of a miscommunication despite stellar setup earlier on. Now Jamma is free casting towards Walrix. Orcs don't die, in a bit of trouble. Blizzo just crushing him behind the room. Bubblevic cycloned up. Perfect crowd control, and now even with that 1 point advantage, we are likely to see them wiped up. Bubblevic has a lot of work to do all by himself. Demonic Gateway, but he's now left his team behind on the flag. Deja's trying to blink. You can't blink up the cliff, Deja. I mean, maybe he's just going to play goalie and polymorph Bubblevic if he tries to make his way back to the fight and then wipe up everybody in mid. Curious to see if Orcs Don't Die, if they picked up his insignia. Maybe if Orcs Don't Die tries to run in. Bubblevic is moving across the map. He's almost looks like he's trying to abandon the team fight entirely. He's going to make his way wrap around, but Sona's already down, and Smoke Trout have control of the team fight here at Waterworks. And if you're Bigburstovic, you got to make a big play. You're going to have to take a big risk. And I think it's going to involve bringing your rogue into the fight. And it's going to be up to Smurtex to realize if that situation is occurring. We see Orcs Don't Die getting intercepted by Fnobbers, bash into Cyclone so far away. Bubblevic and a Polymorph, both healers. Haymaker on the gateway. It doesn't do... I was actually curious to see how the interaction worked. It doesn't do anything, apparently. Jamma, Divine, Ovic, low on health, but Bubblevic sneaks in a heal. He's able to get there just in time to keep the team alive. Somehow, they've managed to at least scramble the team fight back to a stable position. They weren't able to cap the flag, but they're still 1 point ahead. So Bigburstovic have to set up for a kill to win. Otherwise, they're just going to lose. It would be such a crippling defeat to lose off 1 point.
Yeah, not exactly how evenly matched we were expecting these teams to be. We knew it was going to be close, but a 1 point win would definitely be some kind of record here. And we see Orcs Don't Die. He's going to go ahead and activate his Astral Shift. He's going to be completely fine here. Thessia are going to realize he's not going to die, so he's going to go ahead and crowd control him a little bit, going after Bigburstovic right now. But Bigburstovic has been having great positioning as we see another swap here to Snowburst. He gets caught up a little bit there, but he should stabilize here using his Gladiator's Medallion. Full CC chains here onto Divinovic. They've been doing a good job here on Smoke Trout, kind of crowd controlling Divinovic, crowd controlling Sona, knowing that these are two very susceptible to CC targets, making sure that they shut them down because they provide so much damage and utility as well. So pretty good team fight so far from Smoke Trout, and that's why they have been kind of taking people down, but they need that complete wipe here so that they can actually extend their lead. I mean, despite having 1 point ahead, it doesn't feel that safe to just be 1 point ahead. If you big swap into Bigburstovic, he might potentially go down from this combustion of Tessia, but he's going to gate safety once again. That gateway,
I don't know! He's on 1%. He managed to outskirt. Deja was just trying to finish him off at the final seconds, but not able to do it, surviving on sub 5% health. A close call. Bigburstovic's healer lineup doing work right now to stay alive in this fight and keep their team going to desperately try and pull back this 1 point deficit. Knobber's getting blasted in midfield by Jamma with a couple Chaos Bolts, but Mackin in the backline should more than easily be able to recover him. Deja lining up a Greater Pyro Blast. Who is that going to be on? It looks like they want to go into Bubblevic with it. Do they have the backup to support it? Double Shadow Fury denies the reconnect from 2 members. Bubblevic immediately bouncing back to full health. No real crowd control just yet. A Fear finally onto Bubblevic, but disrupted instantly. Fnobber's mana not looking too healthy. He's going to be dashing around towards the back end of the house. Is anyone in position to stop him from drinking? They try and cross, but he gets blasted in center field. Huge damage onto Orcs Don't Die. Bubblevic saves the day once again. Somehow, some way, these two healers doing work. I mean, you're fighting Walrix, you're fighting Blizzo, you're fighting BlizzCon competitors. I mean, this is an insane lineup to be going head-to-head against, and they're still keeping it up despite the Titaness opponents that they've got. Can they pull it off? Just one team wipe and one cap could swing this fight into their favor, but they've been on the back foot constantly. Orcs Don't Die, hovering at very low health. Bubblevic in crowd control. Infernal in from Jamma, that peels up Blizzo, but even despite that, Orcs Don't Die in so much trouble trying to fake cast some interrupts. Spirit Link Totem is required. Blizzo Ring of Pieces it, not able to connect the entire team. But Bubblevic is now finally out of crowd control. We do see some momentum here for Bigburstovic as Walrix is low, getting blown up. Mackie saves him with the life cocoon. Bigburstovic, they're still holding on to dear life to try and pull this off. We're tied 1-1. The winner of this advances in the upper bracket. The loser goes down to the lower bracket, a lot on the line. Knobbers recovering from some big hits. Good support from Walrix. Both these teams are so evenly matched that I actually can't believe that this is potentially going to come down to a 1 point advantage.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case for now, but anything can happen. There's still a lot of points left to gather for these teams. We see Sona now trying to get out some damage, trying to reverse the pressure here. And the name of the game is honestly the mana bars here on the healers. Maxi finally dropping down a little bit on that mana pool, and Fnobbers as well. But on the flip side, we see Orcs Don't Die. He's gone for a big drink here. Bablovic now caught up in a full polymorph. They're trying to go after Orcs Don't Die as he has the most amount of mana. That does make sense here, but I think he's going to be fine deflecting with that Earthen Wall Totem. Now the Touch of Death committed here from Blizzo. If they can get a stun lock and a crowd control onto Bablovic, Orcs Don't Die could potentially go down. He doesn't have his Gladiator's Medallion available for a couple of more seconds, but I don't think they have enough damage and crowd control to finish this one out. Orcs Don't Die actually trying to cast out a Hex in this situation, immediately dispelling as well on that polymorph on Bablovic. If Tessa can get more crowd control here, maybe with the Dragon's Breath, they could potentially be able to close it. They get the Greater Pyro, it connects. Orcs Don't Die though should be able to stabilize here with that Gladiator's Medallion used. And now Warwick's as well trying to make his way back to the fight, kind of get a couple of Chaos Bolts out. They really need a Greater Pyroblast, Chaos Bolt with Blizzo to really kill somebody. And now we see Bablovic actually caught up in an interrupt into the Infernal stun. This could be the situation they're looking for, Sid.
Yeah, big swap here from Walrix as he sets it up, but that Demonic Gateway allows Bablovic to escape to safety. Blizzo has a Ring of Peace, denying Orcs Don't Die from getting to that same safety escape. Deja is trying to lock the entrance with a Ring of Frost as well. Bablovic gets crowd controlled as he moves back. Greater Pyroblast going to connect. Where's the follow-up? They need a tiny bit more crowd control. Polymorph dispelled instantly. They don't have the crowd control. Orcs Don't Die is going to recover. In the meantime, Deja has spent a lot of time overextended. The Shadow Priest damage over time effects starting to sink in. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to stay this far forward. Divinovic trying to find a kill on Walrix, prevent Mackie from drinking, but Mackie with great portal positioning is able to just escape to safety quite easily. The Retribution Paladin not able to keep up on that chase, instead going back to the team fight, going to be attacking the Destruction Warlock, looking mostly at disruption on the Retribution Paladin, although with Avenging Wrath up, his damage has increased. This is a dangerous moment for Smoke to Trout if they're not ready for this Retribution damage. Knobber's in position with Mackie. If they can get through the interrupts, looks like they're able to easily and recover Walrix. Now Walrix free, raining down some Chaos Bolts, 2 in a row. Bablovic is interrupted. Trouble for Orcs Don't Die. Plops down the Healing Tide Totem to recover, but I don't think that's going to be enough if they can connect. Bablovic out of the Polymorph, Void Shift from Sona saves the day once again. Bablovic's mana is not looking too good. Likely to see him try and retreat with that Demonic Gateway and find a drink, but during the time that he's drinking, his team will be vulnerable. Jamu gets bursted down in midfield. Pressure spread out finally from the teams. A little bit less focus fire, a little bit more spread damage to try and open up some swap opportunities, as both teams are still so evenly matched. We saw a bit of an early advantage for Smoke Trout, but Bigburstovic has pulled it together. The only thing really not going in their favor is mana. Crowd control on Bablovic, stun on Orcs Don't Die. This is typically a situation where you would expect a ton of damage. Orcs Don't Die gets Ring of Peace away from the Demonic Gateway, but even still, without that safety net, seems to be doing just fine.
Yeah, and Fnobbers actually sat down there and got a full mana bar reset there. So that win condition here for Bigburstovic is kind of at the window. Unless they can burst Fnobbers down without him using any of that mana, this is a big lead for Smoke Trout. You see Orcs Don't Die as well has a little bit of mana to work with here. Walric taking a little bit of damage, but I think he is going to be able to stabilize here. You can see everybody kind of going over to Orcs Don't Die again. Tassia and Blizzo, that deadly combo of the Windwalker and the Fire Mage, going to be shut down pretty easily by Jamu, doing a great job so far. Honestly, the next time somebody dies, I would like to see a Ninja Cap attempt here. We see Fnobbers caught up in a stun, but easily deflected here by Mackie's Life Cocoon. Honestly, next time somebody goes down on side of Bigburstovic, I want to see that person just go to the lighthouse and hold it and allow maybe Nala or Nala, probably Nala, the only one who can do it, to go over and try to maybe 1v1 Smart Decks. We see a big burst here on Fnobbers. He's going to live.
Oh, very close call, though. Divinovic is salty about that. Fnobbers escaping with 1% health. That could have been the opportunity for them to take this. Now, Bablovic totally tapped on mana. His teammate Orcs Don't Die, the other healer of the team, in crowd control, so he's isolated and getting completely demolished. But despite that, makes a final stand and survives. Close call, but constant battling back from this Restoration Shaman Holy Paladin combo. Was not expecting to be so effective in the rated Battleground scenario, but is looking to be Jamu relaying the Demonic Gateway, interestingly, towards the middle ramp, which is a lot less safe of an escape than where it was positioned before. I'm wondering if that's so that they can use the rogue in the team fight, or maybe it's peel out if they need to support, if he's trying to reposition that for a faster path, but he's going to lose a lot of defense. We do see Blizzo peeling out. He saw the Demonic Gateway relayed. Jamu is trying to escape. Are they going to be able to... What are they trying to do with this play right now? Blizzo moving over towards Nala. It looks like they're going to try and go for a ninja cap. Nala's there. He can get a sap. He can delay Blizzo quite easily. Fnobbers is very low on health, but making his way across, or at least trying to crowd control the healer for Blizzo to go for a 1v1. This is a very interesting adaptation from the teams. Maybe Blizzo is just getting fed up of that. They want a clearer victory than just 1 point. The saps are over, so Nala will be forced to use something like a blind or a stun. Blizzo isn't able to find the cap. He's now, looks like he's given up that. They were maybe just trying to catch them off guard, but Jamo with the repositioned Demonic Gateway apparently saw that attempt already in the future and was able to support the team. Sona now in trouble, though. Very low on health, managing to stabilize with the team's defensive line up. If we look at mana, Fnobbers and Mackie are now totally tapped, although their class is highly mobile and more easily able to escape with heal over time effects, healing while they drink. So likely to find mana here shortly, as Mackie is taking his back into the fight. Very curious to see if we see Bigburstovic peel off and go for an attempt like that themselves, or if it's going to really be Smoked Trout in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. It's really going to come down to creating a little bit of chaos, because honestly, Smoked Trout are happy to play the game this way. They know they have the lead, and they know they kind of just have to stall it out. And as long as no one dies, Fnobers keeps going for drinks. Maxi just had a drink now as he gets caught up, but he's going to be able to transcend away and get himself back up to full HP. Nice play there from Maxi. And I think as long as they just keep playing for this win condition of just stalling it out, they're going to be able to win. So they really need to be more proactive here on Bigburstovic and try to juke it out, try to get an uneven split of people, maybe get Smoke Trout to overcommit people to their defense, to their base, and maybe win in Waterworks that way, potentially, because right now it just seems to me like they lack the potential of actually finishing those kills, and they seem to be more on the back foot due to their healers as well. Boblovic has been out of mana for the majority of this fight, and now we see Sona actually peeling back a little bit. Actually, he just got feared out in the water. He's going to be making his way back to the fight, and we can see now Fnobbers is well caught up in a Hammer of Justice, but Blizzo should be fine for now, Sid.
Oh, Fnobbers is actually running Feral Affinity, using that Rake Stun to stun Sona, but Feral Affinity means you take a lot more damage, and I'm almost wondering if they should be targeting down Fnobbers more with that particular talent selection. Chaos Bolt from Jamma does connect on Fnobbers, so potentially having shown that he's running that could be an opportunity. Divinovic's marching his way over, looking to maybe take advantage of that, but he might leave Walrix over. Walrix stuck into Chaos Bolt. Double stun from Blizzo. Big mistakes from Bigburstovic, locking down both their healers in crowd control. Still, though, able to stay alive and recover, only at the expense of Bublovic's mana, whereas Fnobbers is sitting comfortably. We see a Hammer of Justice on Mackie, but Divinovic gets Mortal Coiled into a clone, so the disruption denies any sort of connect. Mackie now easily recovers. Demonic Gateways have been placed on top of each other, I believe, at this point for both Warlocks, so that's a bit of a dominance move from Smoked Trout to say that we're just going to use this to finish your team rather than having their own in a separate location for defense. So Smoked Trout, after seeing Blizzo peel away and look for a bit of a surprise attack and a surprise cap, they're definitely getting aggressive. But if you get aggressive, maybe you throw the game away, and they've only got that 1 point lead. At any point, if they get wiped out, Bigburstovic caps his flag, and I think it's almost curtains with how evenly matched the teams are for most of this fight. But we're coming down to what could be the final couple minutes. Bublovic in trouble, barely holding on, managing to recover once again, but the closer we get to that point cap of 1,500 points, the more pressure is going to be on for Bigburstovic to get something going. Polymer from Bublovic. Spirit Link Totem saves the day. Thasia now in trouble with Fnobber stunned and Mackie If they can keep Mackie out of mana, they make the swap. They're punishing the Feral Affinity. Big damage. Life Cocoon saves the day for now, but there's still no mana on the Mistweaver. If they can connect, Fnobbers is in so much trouble at the moment. Divinovic just tearing in, getting polymorphed by Thasia. Thasia gets counterspelled on it, but now he's able to free cast and Grid of Pyros. Orcstone Die is trying to support and snare up Fnobbers and Mackie. Mackie's trying to retreat away to get a drink far away from the battle, but that means Fnobbers is healing the team by himself.
Yeah, and he doesn't have much mana to work with, and if Divinovic can reach Fnoburst, it's going to be curtains for him. He doesn't have any cooldowns really to use at the moment. You see Tessia finally getting some greater Pyroblasts out here on towards Bublovic. He has no mana left whatsoever. That Divine Favor really going to be the last line of defense for him. Tessia, unfortunately, a little bit slow there with the counter spell. He has been doing a good job so far, and he manages to take him down finally with that Dragon's Breath. Now Blizzo catching a couple of Chaos Bolts as well, but he should be able to withstand the damage here. Maxi didn't really get much mana, but there's a leaf. It's just spawned, and Maxi took it, and then Shadow Melded. He's going to have at least 40% to work with, should allow Fnoburst potentially to run away, and then after that, they could potentially clean up this team fight. As we see Jamu now taking the brunt of the damage, Blizzo on that Windwalker doing tons and tons of damage. Orcs don't die, trying to deflect the attack. Tessia with the triple DR Dragon's Breath can't get the Polymorph follow-up, unfortunately for him, but he drops a Ring of Frost to zone out of that Earthen Wall Totem's defense. Now finally Polymorph connects. Greater Pyroblast being casted out. Jamu in big trouble. As long as they can shut down some of these spheres, one's going to connect. Jamu might actually go down, gets a big heal there from that Void Shift. Now Sona going to have to activate his Dispersion as well, and it looks like Bigburstovic is finally faltering and going down in this team fight.
Yeah, Blizzo peels out to slow the incoming healer Bublovic, or maybe potentially put some pressure onto that node as well. So very nice adaptation here by Blizzo to try and put pressure on other places while the team is split res. What is Bublovic going to do? Is he going to go and move towards where Blizzo is going, or is he going to go back into the team fight? I mean, he's got a hard decision. It looks like he's going to peel out and support Nala. Can he get there in time? Nala is just getting owned right now by his Windwalker Rogue combo. Bublovic moves over, saves Nala, denies the cap, but the team they're just aborting towards the fight at Waterworks. I mean, Orcs Don't Die is no longer there. There's no healer on the base. How much longer can they really stay afloat? They're still just so far behind. And I mean, at this point, what can you do? Smoke Trout, they're just going to win off 1 point. Smoke Trout, get the cap. And I mean, that's almost certainly game over for Bigburstovic. And this is match point, which means they will go down to lower brackets. Sona getting bursted down. If they can somehow get the cap and pull this back into their favor, maybe. But Blizzo and Smurtex, they're just so much devastation towards Bublovic and Nala, and with one healer out of the fight, Orcs Don't Die crowd controlled in midfield. I mean, what hope do you really have? And you don't have any. Bigburstovic, they're tapping out with members leaving the match. So evenly fought, but finally Smoke Trout able to break through, get ahead, and take the game 2-1 in this series in the upper bracket.
And they did indeed use Cervantes to kind of stay in defense with the Guardian Druid. And I think we're going to see Acro as well as Monkarns kind of just go after the flag carrier of Benny all the time. Benny's going to be in big trouble. It was, as we see both teams kind of making their way towards the middle, Cervantes is immediately looking for Benny so he can go ahead and spam out those Chains of Ices and try to snare him up. We're going to see if they can combine that Blessing of Freedom with those Demon Hunter jumps and kind of get Benny immediately across. They are going to do just that. Freedom on the Mount Acro with the kidney shot, trample into the vortex, into the jump here from Benny, gets caught up in an asphyxiate and re-chains of ice, tramples away there. Once again, that Demon Hunter mobility is so strong, but Acro with the preemptive play here, blinding him up, allowing the team potentially to reconnect here onto Benny. You can see there's a restuff sap as well. Change device is being used. Monkarns and Cervantes are trying to make their way there. Beautiful cyclone here though by Max is going to shut down Monkarns as we see Benny caught up in another kidney shot.
I think Corky might go for a quick cap. It seems to be just keep Benny in crowd control, and that's, I mean, how do you keep a Vengeance Demon Hunter in one place? They've been managed to do it for so long, but Benny is finally able to escape, jumping into the flag room. Corky will have a slight lead in terms of crossing the map, and it is looking like Benny is going to be able to pick up the flag, although he is isolated from his healer, and Monkarns is still chasing him down, but caught into a Sigil of Fear, not able to totally reconnect. Max Licks dodging an incoming Capacitator Toad from Lone Tar, setting up a bit of a trap. We see Max repositioning down to the tunnel entrance, realizing that Benny is going to have to escape down the tunnel. So Max is looking to team up with him towards there. Benny could be in trouble if he's not able to make it down in time, but it looks like he will with, we see Zwexmix in the mix as well. Benny out of the tunnel now with his healers in a good position. Corky is actually maybe the one in trouble, caught into a stun by Creamy Gnome across the map. Curious to see if he can make it across center field. Creamy Gnome is still low, and that's the advantage the Guardian Druid brings, is that even though it's a tank, it actually does a lot of damage if there's no one healing the targets that it's hitting, especially melee classes. So Corky is finally able to make it to safety with Cavi backing him up. Benny and Max cross center, so Max is going to maybe abandon healing Benny for now and just heal the team fight in center. Cervantes is preventing the Paladin from making it over. Arj is getting left behind a bit. Creamy Gnome is the one that's really taken some big hits. Is he going to be able to make it out alive? I mean, Lontar is killing him, and he's the restoration shaman. He's actually just killing the rogue by himself at this point, and Creamy Gnome isn't able to stay on target, so good damage output from Lontar. Definitely very important when you're running only healers and a tank to be dishing out some damage. He's actually just bullying the Boomkin and the rogue by himself. It's actually very impressive from Lontar. In the meantime, Acro is having a difficult time making it to Benny, and this is where the mobility of that Demon Hunter is so vital, and the Restoration Druid can use Wild Charge to catch up to the tank quite easily. So we see Max going towards the bottom of the cliff, so he'll be able to jump up there. We do see pressure onto Monk Arns. Where are the healers here for the offense of Skill Cap? It doesn't look like they've got any healers right now, so they're just relying on themselves. No, Lontar is repositioned onto offense now. Acro's in stealth, making his way over. Benny with Shadow Sight can potentially see Acro, so I'm curious to see if he is able to find him. Acro's still moving, dodges the sigil, in position maybe for a sap, gets sap on Benny. Max now realizing that this is going to be dangerous moving forward, repositions to Benny's side. But Monk Arns, the Windwalker, is making his way over. Lontar is going up there as well. There could be some purges onto the heal over time effects. Zwexmix needs to make his way over there as soon as possible as Benny is stunned up. Looks like he's going to have both healers in range and Blessing of Sacrifice if necessary, but tons of damage. Blinding Light casted. Lontar going for a Hex, gets it onto the Druid. There's no Dispel for that. So we'd see the Gliders Medallion, which now opens Max up to a blind. That blind play could easily win the game. Benny with no Gliders Medallion, Smoke Bomb opportunity. Skill Caps have a huge window to get a kill on Benny.
Yeah, after that sap setup there on Benny, they now have a massive lead. If Acro can reconnect here with the smoke bomb, that could easily be the first flag point. We can see now as well, the offense is gathering here. On the flip side here, Corky is in that classic spot here on the ramp, or the balcony actually, as it's called. And he's going to just be sitting there, spamming out a couple of AoEs, waiting a little bit for, his team to kind of kill off Benny. You can see again, Lontar actually the first one to lead the charge here. Nice root totem. He's going to hold Benny in place for a little bit. If he can get maybe a Hex or something, that could potentially slow Benny down just a little bit and maybe allow Monkarn to reconnect. And he's going to go for it. He does get a Hex, but it's on the healer, and Benny's going to immediately leap away from there. I would have much rather seen that Hex maybe thrown onto Benny combined with a Frost Shock, and that could stop him from actually using all of his jumps, and Monkarn could potentially actually reach him there. But instead, it's going to be Acro that reaches him. There is the blind. Now, Benny's done a good job so far stalling this out and waiting for his trinket, but he doesn't have it up just yet. And Max can't stack up too close because Acro might just sheep shot him into a Hex. Then potentially we see a nice wind shear and a grounding totem there by Lontar. Max is going to get denied on his Cyclones, but that should buy Benny enough time to actually run away here and get his trinket back off. The smoke bomb attempt seems to have been denied.
Yeah, it's very difficult with ARG playing defense with that Chains of Ice. It's hard for Acro to make it to his target. Benny and Monk Arns as well. Maybe Ride the Wind is actually selected, so Monk Arns may need to look to use that to get his team out of the Chains of Ice and onto the target. It's laid down right now. Benny continues on that path, so he's not going to move towards that. He's going to go the opposite direction. Blinding Light by Zwexmix to pause out the incoming damage as Benny desperately tries to retreat on top of the tunnel entrance, but the damage is starting to mount up at 140% increase. Acro connects. What are you going to do, Benny? Monkarn's on the opposite side of the fence. He can't jump over. They've got him cornered, and with the damage increasing, if they keep one melee on one side and one on the other, Benny won't have an escape, but Illidan's Grasp knocks Monkarn's down, and I believe he used the Transcendence earlier because he accidentally fell off. Now he doesn't have the Transcendence to get back up, and Acro's in a bit of trouble. Lontar saves with Trinket Spirit Link, but it's only two members. Our ARG is just tearing in. Lontar recovers, but he falls off the side. Now this is total devastation for Skillcast. They're going to lose their healer. They're going to lose their Windwalker, and Acro's just left there alone. He gets gripped out of range. Lontar moves over, but I'm not sure if he can save him in time. That's going to be all offense wiped out for Skillcap pretty much, and a huge opportunity for Omegalul.
Yeah, we're gonna see Omegalul potentially now go after Corki. I haven't really seen Corki phased at all in this game. Potentially, the Omegalul are just biding their time, waiting for the stacks a little bit before they go after that Guardian Druid. We're gonna see here Creamy potentially making his way down to the tunnel here and trying to reach. But Cervantes and Cavi are standing with Corki. Such a solid defense here. Creamy is gonna be making his way into the flag room soon, and he is looking for Corki, but he needs more backup. He needs Kane with him, and Kane is still pretty far away from this potential flag kill opportunity. We see Monkanch still duking it out here on the flip side, trying to buy some time for Acro to get there, but it's not looking like he's going to survive for too long. Touch of Karma is coming out. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Nice blessing of protection there. Lontar is in position to throw out a couple of heals. Ring of Peace is going to deny it for now. You see Lontar finally connecting with a couple of heals there. Beautifully done. Monkan is going to stabilize, and Acro is now as well ready to launch the next attack on Benny. Kidney shot onto Benny from Acro, but Monkan is nowhere to be found right now. Lontar going to throw out a nice capstun into Hex there onto Max. Yet another Hex landing on the rest of Druid. Lontar has been doing such a great job landing these throughout the match.
Ride the Wind is laid down for Acro. He's going to get out of the chains of ice and make his way towards Benny. Finally some coordination there. That Ride the Wind is pivotal to get around the Unholy Death Knight defense, and I really think that they need better coordination with it if they want to take Benny out. Maybe just a wind shear on the Resto Druid, one connect with Ride the Wind, and they could take Benny down. 210% increased damage taken. Acro just can't connect. He's left behind. Monkarns is able to move over, but without the Rogue, maybe he can solo him. I mean, it's 210% increased damage. It may at this point just be enough to have just the Windwalker, because he's going to be popping that Earth, Wind, and Fire, trying to get a kill. Benny's still retreating away. ARG gets stunned up by Acro. Acro is just... he's had enough of this Chains of Ice. He's just maybe just going to try and kill the Death Knight while Monkarns goes after the flag carrier, split the healers up, something along those lines. Monkarns could lay down the Ride the Wind for Acro right now, but he's cycloned, so maybe wait for that and then make the play over. Wondering if they should still try and keep maybe Acro on one side with the Death Knight and then have Monkarns on the other side of the fence. So if Benny goes for a jump, there'll always be one team member attacking him. I mean, at 230% increased damage taken, it's certainly only going to take one team member. And both the Rogue and the Windwalker bring the Mortal Strike effect to reduce incoming healing, so either one would be vital. Lontar and Acro deciding to go down, looking for maybe a reset, maybe a surprise attack. Interested to see what they do with this positioning. Maybe they're just picking up the Berserking. That's very important. Acro is going to move over, get that. The Berserking increases your damage, so the Bloodlust icon next to Acro's health frame, that means he's got Berserking. Let's see what he can do with it. We see Monkarns stunned up and knocked down. Where's the Transcendence for Monkarns? He needs to be able to portal back up into line of sight of Benny as soon as possible, but even if he is able to, Corki now in a stun lock and potential opportunity for Omegalul. They've got crowd control onto Cavi and Lontar. Cavi trinkets out to save the day. Both flag carriers will be in trouble at this point. I mean, 260% increased damage. The balanced Druid Kane with the Berserking, but he's in so much trouble from Cervantes. Cervantes, a chainsaw on defense, cutting apart that offensive push from Omegalul. Now Benny in trouble. Acro connecting. Monkarns, though, far away from the fight. It's just Acro. He's still got Berserking for some time. Drops the smoke bomb. All the healers going to be ducking into that as soon as possible to recover. Benny jumps away. Monkarns still making his way over. ARG, where's the Chains of Ice? They need the Chains of Ice on Monkarns. He's mounted up. There's the Chains of Ice. But Benny gets slapped. They overlap it with the blinds. Corki's stunned up, but Creamy is so low on health. Cervantes is going to clean that up, take the kill. Corki now survives. Benny is still crowd controlled. Monkarn's on top of him. Kidney shot. Benny trinkets, jumps away. Acro tries to get gripped out of line of sight, but ARG kind of misplaces his death grip positioning, only gripping him slightly down. Now potentially in range of Shadow Step, at least to one of his teammates. He needs to be calling that. He's kind of just isolated on the center part of the clip, but Benny's getting owned by Monkarns by himself. Acro jumps down. Now ARG is out of position. He can't snare the Windwalker. So this death grip attempt is, I don't even actually think that great for ARG. Benny just getting owned by Monkarns and Lontar. The purges on top of the Windwalker should be more than enough, I think, at 290%. What defense is left? The Holy Paladin gets wind sheared. Lontar with nice offense. Can they finally push him over the edge? Acro, though, is losing the 1v1. He's going to be going down to ARG, back to the graveyard. So ARG does at least clean that up, as long as Benny can escape from Monkarns. It's 2 versus 3 on the defense for Omegalul, and the damage stacks continue to ramp up, now at 300%.
I can't believe Benny is still alive at this point in time. How is he surviving the onslaught that Monkarns is bringing him? I don't know. but Max is doing a great job crowd controlling up everybody. We see another Hex here onto Zuex. Benny needs to just stay away from everybody. If he is in line of sight of anybody, even Lontar, he's going to be in big trouble, and he's going to do just that, tossing Lontar away with that Illidar's grasp. He's not going to be able to actually get him off, though, and now he's going to be in big trouble, taking a couple of lightning bolts. He takes reduced healing and increased damage with these stacks. So Benny, while he's fine for now, he can't tank Lontar even alone for too much longer. Now Lontar as well buying a lot of time. Monka caught up in a kidney shot. He's going to be able to blink back up, though.
Huge attack here from Omegalul. Cervantes is not on defense, which means the balanced Druid Rogue combination is going to have free reign. But Cervantes is in the fight going after Benny as well. Zwex mixed with the sacrifice, but redirects damage to himself under huge fire. Who's going to fall first? I think Benny has to give up and move towards the cap and just hope they kill Corky before Benny goes down, as it's going to be a race to the finish. And this might be the only cap of the game. And Benny, he's trying to make it over, but there's no damage on Corky. Benny's falling further and further behind. Can they get in position for the return? But Corky falls. Benny's in position. Can he get it? No, he doesn't get the cap. Not in time. Cappy trying to save the day. Not able to, but another pickup. Can they manage to pull this off? Benny is still in trouble. Could be a return. Monkarns with the pickup here in desperation to hold out. Flag still in possession, but far out of position. And it's looking like it might be a reset, but the stacks just keep stacking up. Both teams keep picking it up. I think it's going to be a reset on the stacks. Creamy Gnome with a pickup. Constant kills back and forth at that 300% mark. I actually think it's almost better if Creamy Gnome drops the flag and resets the stacks. I mean, you're a rogue running across center field at this point. 0 men on your hero. I don't even think he's going to be able to make it out of the room. Maybe they just hold out and try and get Benny for a quick cap while he's holding on to the flag. Cervantes with it now, looking to try and redirect it over to Corky as soon as possible. And, I mean, both teams are going to keep the stacks at 300%. Bold move.
Yeah, we're going to see if this pays off. If he can get this the flag swap over to Benny, that could be huge for Creamy. We can see Max is trying to make his way down to the fight now as well. A little bit out of positioning, but he is in stealth. So if he can reach Creamy, potentially he could keep Creamy up and long enough for a swap to happen. And the swap does actually happen here. Benny now in possession of the flag once again. And on the flip side, I think Cervantes is the one holding the flag here with Cavi. Not on the ideal person. He needs to go and try to make a swap himself. And Kane realizes that if Kane goes in stealth here and kind of just sits around Cervantes, he could potentially get a sneaky ninja here. We're going to see if he's going to go for it. He's not going to go for it. Instead, he is going to try to pressure Cervantes. Cervantes is going to be easy to drop that flag over. Corky gets stunned up, though. Did he get it? No, he actually returned the flag there, I think.
And it is going to be a return. Omegalul with possession, but with a Windwalker on Benny's tail, a 300% increased damage. Hex from Lontar. These hexes have been so critical for his team's offense. It's going to be a reset, though, with 5 minutes left on the clock. It's looking like this may be a tie as the stacks reset, and it was so difficult to kill even at 300%. Now with only 5 minutes left on the clock, unless one of the teams can get a quick cap, who's in position to get possession faster becomes the question. Benny is dead, so there's not going to be any advantage there with the Demon Hunter being able to do any sort of shenanigans. Maybe Kane can make something happen, having picked up the speed buff. Corky and Kane, but I think you'd much prefer the Guardian Druid in possession. Corky making his way. Benny's going to want to look for a transfer as soon as possible, but the stacks reset. I just don't, other than, I mean, there's more pressure obviously on Omegalul because they want to transfer the flag. So there could be a potential here for skill cap to take away the flag while it's being transferred, as you have to put it on the ground, and there will be a split second to return it in that moment of opportunity. So there is more pressure on Omegalul in this position. Maybe Kane just dies without being able to transfer. They've got him locked down in a sap with a Windwalker and a Rogue. That's a lot of damage, but Corky's getting intercepted with Cyclones in midfield. He uses the Gladiator's Medallion to try and go for a quick cap. It's do or die to kill Kane on this balance Druid as Corky commits that to get back to the flag cap. Can they take down Kane in time with this increased damage taken and deny the transfer over to Benny? Benny's going to have to be quick on the trigger to try and get this transfer. Illidan's Grasp to try and throw them away from the target, maybe open up an opportunity to swap it over. Creamy Gnome is still low on health. It's going to be so much more difficult for Omegalul to heal under these circumstances. Creamy Gnome looking like he is likely to go down, and he will. Skill cap now have big momentum and a huge opportunity to cap because Kane just can't transfer the flag.
Yeah, and we see Zuex is really the only thing standing between his skill capped and a potential 1-0 victory here. Kane caught up in another kidney shot. Beautiful hits here on the maxi. The smoke bomb comes out, but the sack comes out in the nick of time here from Zuex. I can't believe Kane is alive. That hand of sacrifice was so well timed, and I think Zuex is just going to go down to the damage from that.
They got it!
He doesn't have bubble, and they did get the flag there. Swapped over to Benny. What a nice swap there in the middle of everything, realizing that at any point Kane would probably just go down to that if they managed to stay on him.
Creamy Gnome actually got a body res in that team fight rather than having to wait to res at the graveyard, so a bit of a mistake from Skillcap to not take the insignia. You have to click the dead body of the opposing player, otherwise they can run back to their body. Creamy Gnome was able to disrupt enough for Benny to have the flag transferred to him, so little bit of a minor error now removes the advantage that Skill Capped once had, and we're back into that stalemate position with we see the flag carrier Corky in the starting room with his healers and Benny all the way at the top side of the graveyard. Acro in a bit of trouble as Lone Tar is crowd controlled. Acro likely to actually go down here in midfield, and he will. So Skill Capped's offense torn apart with that death. 2 minutes left on the clock, and I'm starting to think that we're going to get a tie from this. Really, the only X factor right now is that Kane and Creamy Gnome with that Moonkin Rogue. Perhaps with some surprise burst, they can pull off a kill, try and find victory for their team with Benny in a good position to cap at this point. Corky kiting with his team. It looks like Skillcap just want to stall and tie. That seems to be their point of trying to find victory, but Corky is sapped out in midfield and isolated. Who can close in on him? Kane is out of position, and there's no way you're winning against a Windwalker as a balance druid. Just not happening. Monk Arns is just demolishing him. Crowd controlled for now, but I don't think Kane is going to recover. He's trying to escape. Monk Arns in hot pursuit. If they can take out the balance druid, that's basically all of the burst for their offensive lineup to take down Corky. Max repositions, saves Kane for now, bringing him back into the fight, but Creamy Gnome is now targeted down. Max has to reposition. Kane with perfect survival skills there. I was expecting him to go down, but even still, if his rogue goes down, that's still most of the offensive lineup. Demoralizing roar from Corky disrupts the heals. Max has to trinket that. Now he's going to be in a lot of trouble later on, but maybe not. Full Moon is being casted. Big burst here onto Corky, potentially not enough to find a kill. Creamy Gnome is falling behind, somehow keeping them alive. Solar Beam onto two healers. Perfect timing by Kane. His ability to survive in the 1v1, make it back to the team fight, might be enough to bring it back for his team. No pressure on to Benny at this moment in time. Acro looks like he's peeling out to go for a 1v1. Acro is going to try and 1v1 Benny. In the meantime, the entire team of Omegalul is trying to take down Corky. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, who's going to take it?
Yeah, I don't know, Sid, but it's going to go down to the wire here. Corky, no trinket. The next kidney shot here from Creamy could be deadly as he's making his way up in the tunnel here. Lontar by his side with Kavi as well. He finally gets caught up here in the kidney shot. Do they have the damage? Full Moon is being channeled out. Kane with the Cyclone as well. He's going to do whatever he can here to shut down some of those heals, but it looks like Corky is going to survive. Benny on the flip side as well looks like he's going to be fine, and I think we have a tie
in this specific scenario. So I'm wondering who is going to cap the base first. We actually see Kane on the Warlock. Neither team committing anything except their mounts. So no mobility. I think Kane is going to be close. Who's going to end up getting this? I mean, even 1 point could get the favor. Skill capped, I believe we're slightly ahead. We'll have to wait and see if they can generate 1 point faster. We do give them the team fight advantage. If they can be 1 point ahead, that puts Omegalul on the clock. We see a smoke bomb drop for Benny to try and ninja cap the base. Interesting strategy there from Creamy, but they don't get it. And now smoke bomb, one of their most vital tools to cap, is out of the way. Creamy is peeling out. Where's Creamy trying to go? He's coming back towards the base. They brought him in. Now he's trying to come back to defend and then bring the Warlock in, I suppose. But it's so far out of position at this point. No, Creamy. Oh, he's juking them. He made it look like he was going back to switch positions at the Warlock. Now he's actually going on offense to go after Acro. But this means that his team Omegalul is fighting down a member at Waterworks. But Kane is going to abandon the node. Omegalul are going for the risky strat. It's going to be a Warlock and a Rogue against Acro. BlizzCon competitor. What's he going to do with 2 members on a base is the question. Do you think he can do it, Zico?
Well, they share a diminishing return, so if he trinkets the blind, the fear is going to be on the R. I think Acro could easily stall this out if he decides to play it carefully. He gets the sap here onto Kane, and he avoids the Creamy's AoE. Now, Creamy is in stealth. He's trying to prevent Acro here from doing anything potentially. Acro gets out the blind as well. I would have liked the Acro min-maxing this a little bit more, because now he has to leave stealth and stun up Kane potentially. Actually, he has one more sap right there to work with. Now he needs to sap Creamy. He should have went for the sap onto Creamy, and we see a nice kidney shot here onto Acro.
Beautiful.
And we see another sap here as well onto Cavi. He's going to bop himself out of that Shadowy Duel activated here. A lot of peels here from Acro. He's doing a great job holding the space so far.
They take the risk and it doesn't pay off, and Monk Arms was able to move over. So skill cap to adapt to the strategy. Monk Arms ninjas the base, but maybe they can bring it back. They get Monk Arms in crowd control and they bring it back. They tie the bases, but Skill Capped has a lead. Their team is spread out all over Gilneas at this point. Zwexmix in a bit of danger here from Cervantes, and now stunned up. Max isn't in position. It's just the Paladin healer at Waterworks and likely to fall. It's looking like the team fight is falling apart here for Omegalul as Max tries to make it back to the base. Can Arj stay alive and spin the node long enough? Otherwise, Skill Capped are going to cap this base and secure a significant advantage over the one that they've already established. We do see Kane move in desperately to spin the flag. Corky looking for Cyclones. Max has made it. Kane gets Cycloned. They can't get the crowd control to cap the base, but even still with a 20-point lead, Creamy and Acro are actually still hanging out with each other, trying to make this a bit interesting for us, the Rogue 1 versus 1. Max, though, is the only healer, I believe, at the fight currently. Zwexmix has just rezzed. He's making his way. He's still so far away. And if Max falls, if they're going to be on such a huge split res, ARG has now rezzed. So 2 members away from the team fight, 3 members effectively. Acro gets a sap on Creamy. That's a big advantage for him defending that base. Max barely stays alive, so X6 makes his way over. ARG is abandoning the team fight. He's moving back to assist Creamy against Acro. Corky sees that, and he's peeling back to assist Acro. So it's going to be a 2 versus 2 over at the Horde base of Omegalul. Corky, Acro versus Creamy, ARG. I actually think the Death Knight is favored in this with the sustain that it brings. Benny is in mid. He's floating. Where's Benny going to go? Looks like he's a bit worried about a Ninja Cap potentially. Creamy, ARG are pulling back. The team fight is still stalled at Waterworks, but it's Omegalul with all the pressure. They have to get a base. They're just behind now on 20 points roughly, and as long as Skill Cap can just hold the lead and prevent the third base from capping, they will find victory. But we do see Omegalul pulling off quite some interesting strategies in terms of positioning. ARG on defense at the base here. I'm wondering why Creamy is hanging out with ARG. Maybe he sees Corky not in the fight, so he's expecting Corky to be there, but Corky expects Creamy to be by Acro, so they're just on opposite sides of the map, anticipating that they'd be on top of each other. But that means they're not at the team fight, so it's just effectively Cervantes on Death Knight dealing damage, which I think is a lot more effective with the Windwalker than the setup that we see from Omegalul with the Destruction Warlock. Currently the only, Benny, the Destruction Warlock Demon Hunter, I think a little bit less effective than the Windwalker Death Knight in terms of damage output. So I think this is still an advantage to Skill Capped if we hold in this position. And it's obvious that they're keeping their eyes on Corky. Benny is trying to use the Spectral Sight maybe to try and find Corky so the team knows where he is and they can get ARG back into the team fight. Benny's making his way over towards the node that Acro is defending, but Corky's already waiting, and there's no way you're going to win 2 versus 1 against Acro and Corky. In the meantime, the team fight really not... I would have expected Skill Cap to start generating at least some momentum with the Windwalker Death Knight. Monkarns has given up on the team fight. He's peeled out and floating amidst mid on total of the map. Corky is crowd controlling Benny. It's going to be a 1v1. Acro actually remaining in stealth. They still don't know where Creamy is, so Acro can't afford to reveal himself to assist Corky unless he absolutely has to. Monkarns is trying to take the opposing base, but ARG is in position more than enough to stop him. So it's going to be a 1v1 between the Windwalker Monkarns and ARG, but Creamy can support, and a 1v1 between Corky and Benny, but Acro can support. And potentially these 1 versus 1s decide the Ninja Cap and maybe the comeback for Omegalul. Corky is getting owned right now by Benny. I mean, you do expect the Balance Druid to have a difficult time against the Demon Hunter. Acro needs to support him. He goes for the blind on Benny just to keep Corky alive, but now Benny's still in hot pursuit to get a kill and try and get first blood. Monkarns rolls in to save Corky, but now ARG sees an opening to go to the team fight maybe while Monkarns is out of position and Cavi is peeling out. Lone Tar looks like he wants to peel out as well, but ARG is now moving towards Waterworks to try and win the team fight. Monk Arms has to come back, but now they're down a healer, and I think being down a healer at the team fight is going to be a lot more just devastating than down to DPS. Cavi stabilizes Corki. Cavi needs to get back to the team fight. Lone Tar is crowd controlled up. Almost would like to see them go after Lone Tar, but the lack of a Mortal Strike effect, I think, is noticeable at this point for Omegalul.
Yeah, and we see the team fight is still raging on, and I feel like as long as both DKs are kind of alive and healthy, nobody is going to be able to take this node. As we see Lontar Trinket out of an asphyxiate there, in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't need to use his Spirit Link Totem just yet, though. He's going to combine it with the Astral Shift. He gets DR Hodged, but he should be fine for now. And Corki and Benny, they are still swinging at it. Corki now going to interrupt that I-beam, and I think Corki is going to be fine here. He gets a Cyclone out. He's going to top himself up with the help of Cavi as well. Finally, Corki is going to be recovered. We're going to see Acro still having his trinket in defense. Creamy still has his trinket in defense. And it looks like both teams are finally going to go back to Waterworks to duke it out. But all of this kind of settling at this point means that Skill Capped have gathered themselves a little bit of a lead due to the fact that Creamy lost his base for a little while Skill Capped were still getting those points from their own base. So right now it's looking good for Skill Capped. They have a lot of mana to work with on their healer. Max now sitting down for a drink because he doesn't have too much to work with, but Zuex though has a lot to work with, and if Zuex actually goes down, then that's going to be a big lead in the team fight as well. Now we see Benny making his way over towards Acro's base once again with the disruption there, but Corki is quick to respond, Sid.
Yeah, they're lining up for burst. Benny trinkets out. They've got Acro out of stealth, so they know Acro is now at the node. I'm curious if Creamy is going to ghost his node and get into the team fight, or maybe go to support Benny. I actually think Benny can 1v2 Corki and Acro. I legitimately think he can with Metamorphosis activated and all that incoming leech healing. He's currently 1v2ing them as Corki is desperately trying to retreat away. Blind on Benny. Creamy sees the advantage. Creamy maybe going to make his way over and support Benny. He's reluctant to. I don't really know why. Both stealth targets are visible. There's no threat that they can't see coming towards that base. I really think Creamy should maybe abandon this, but Benny now stun locked. This is their only opportunity to kill Benny. They have to 100-0 him in a stun. Gladiator Safeguard saves him for now. Where's the I-beam? He needs that Metamorphosis leech healing as soon as possible. No I-beam just yet from Benny. Imprisoned on Corki, and he's just trying to stay alive. He stuns up Acro. There's the I-beam. Will the leech healing be enough for Benny to stay alive? It's not that long of a duration. Corki bursting in. He's left open, finally able to recover, stabilize, and push Benny over. Acro is still low. Benny holds on once again with the shield from the Burning Soul Azurite trait. Able to consume magic and get a shield and sustain, but not enough. Even still, Benny getting Acro very low on health, and quite a close call for Skill Cap, putting them, at least making them sweat for victory here on match point.
Honestly, I agree with you. I think Creamy should have just left his base there and gone for it. Acro dropping to about 40 or 50% there. I mean, I think the Rogue Demon Hunter would easily beat out the Rogue and the Munkin Druid. Unfortunately, Creamy doesn't go for it, and they don't force out Acro's Trinket, so not really too much gained from Benny causing all of that havoc, if you will. And now we see the team fight is once again enabled here, but both DKs are alive, making sure that nobody gets the cap. DKs, such a tanky class, is going to be able to keep themselves alive while their healers are drinking, and kind of allow for these resets to happen in Waterworks that we can see from time to time here.
Ooh, Creamy and Acro are on top of the node for skill capped. If Creamy gets a sap on Acro, pretty much almost guaranteed that he'll be able to cap if he's in range of the flag. Creamy and Acro dancing dangerously with each other. Corki peels out. It could be a 2 versus 2, but Max is peeled out as well with Monk Arms. Monk Arms is trying to go after the ghosted node, so Max has to stop Monk Arms. That means they're going to be down a healer at the team fight. It's going to be just Zwexmix. So will Cervantes be able to kill Zwexmix while Max peels Monk Arms, preventing him from capping the flag? And who's going to win the 2 versus 2? Is it going to be Benny and Creamy, or is it going to be Corki and Acro? So Monk Arms is not going to be able to take this base against the Restoration Druid, basically guaranteed at that point. So he has to make a decision to just leave, maybe go support the push and just sustain the lead. ARG actually peels out from the team fight, and he's actually left Zwexmix even further exposed. Lone Tar doesn't even seem like he needs to heal the team. Cavi's in crowd control. Zwexmix the one's in trouble because Max peeled out. The 2 versus 2 has engaged on the opposing node with Corki stun locked up. Benny gets blinded. If he trinkets, he opens himself up to a stun, so he's holding on to it. Doesn't want to be vulnerable target. Zwexmix is holding on, healing against Cervantes by himself right now at the Waterworks, but doing a great job so far, whereas Lone Tar and Cavi are just easily maintaining the team. Benny sits through the blind sap, now out of crowd control. So Creamy and Benny could have some free reign here to go after Corky. Monkarns is going to peel out. Max is still chilling at the base. He's not going to be repositioning. Very curious to see where each team allocating their forces ends up getting ahead, because Corky is just getting owned right now. Almost guaranteed that he's going to be going down. Stun locked on the Cyclone. If there's one more denial on a Cyclone, he's not going to be able to escape. Cavi's trying to peel out, but he gets stunned up. He's trying to make it to Corky to save him. Benny's going after him. Monkarns moves in, supports with some Vivifies. Corky manages to stabilize. Cavi is still trying to escape to support the team, realizing that 2 versus 2 is not going in their favor. He is going to need to support if they want to keep this 20-point lead that they established earlier on.
Yeah, and I mean, Benny is doing such a great job distracting members from the fight. There he had Acro, Corky, Cavi, and Monkarns kind of on himself completely alone. And Creamy's actually making his way over to Acro. So if Benny can just kind of drag these people out here, he might get a sap onto Acro. This could be a disaster Ninja Cap. And it looks like Skill Cap are going to be able to hold the base despite having so many members on the side of Mines here. And he does get the sap here. Creamy's going for the play here. He's going to go for the sap. He might be able to get it. Corky now getting CC'd, gets imprisoned, trinkets out of that immediately. Creamy not going to be able to make this count. If I was Creamy, I would just go for the blind play and try to force out Acro's trinket there as well before Corky gets enraged. He doesn't see the opportunity, so he's going to go ahead and go back to his base. Very close call there. And honestly, Benny being here and distracting everybody actually kind of hurted that play there from Creamy because Cavi was also already in the neighborhood when Creamy went over. A little bit unlucky to find Acro while Cavi was still on that side of the map. And I mean, the fight in Waterworks looks completely even right now. Benny getting caught up in a stun lock and should go down finally after being such an annoyance. Acro's going to make sure to loot that corpse as well, so Benny can't walk to his corpse and just res and surprise Acro in the middle of a fight. So nicely done by Acro and Skillcapped.
The healers are positioned so differently for the teams here. Zarxmix has totally tapped his mana, healing solo against Cervantes for the better part of, I don't even know how long at this point, and his team is now starting to flounder, and Max is still out of position. What is Max doing? He's just trying to hold the base for Benny to come back? Kane is likely to fall as Zarxmix is still hexed. Cervantes gets bursted, but I think Lontar should be able to recover in this position. Now Monkarns and Cervantes, Windwalker Death Knight against an out-of-mana Holy Paladin. Skillcapped are starting to win this team fight. Zwexmix stalls with a blinding light onto 2 members, but still just has no mana remaining. Aggressive anti-magic shield from Cervantes to immune crowd control, stealing that Holy Paladin and take him out. Really, the only advantage they have is that Creamy is sitting in stealth, waiting to spin the node. He's forced to come out and stop it. Drops the kidney shot, tries to go for a reverse cap maybe on the base, not going to find it. Corky is trying to ninja the base against Max, but Kane is there. No way Corky's getting that. He should have maybe just stayed in stealth, but now he's going to get stalled. Zwexmix still in a lot of trouble. Still without his healer Max to support. Down 18 points, close to 20 points between the teams, and it's match point in the lower bracket. The winner of this will advance and continue in the tournament. The loser completely out of the competition. Creamy still low on health, going for a defensive blind play just to stay alive and spin the node. Zwexmix managed to get some mana back amidst all of this. Creamy, though, still stunned. Max can't get back in time, and Creamy is going to fall. Now maybe an opening for Acro to ghost his base and go for a cap? Doesn't look like it. I mean, at this point, if you're skill capped, you just play for defense, hold the base, don't let any caps happen, and win with 20 points. So not surprising to see them not peel out. Max is finally connected with the team, so it is going to be a full-blown team fight here at Waterworks finally, but maybe not. Corky is still just waiting on the outskirts. Looks like skill capped still want to keep at least some surprise in their back pocket, not overextending or committing entirely, but at least leaving the opportunity open if Omegalul makes a mistake.
Yeah, and Kane was actually holding that base as well for Omegalul, but Creamy has made his way back there, so that base is going to be fine. Kane now finally making his way to the fight, and I think for the first time we're going to see somewhat of a team fight go down here at Waterworks, but Corky still in stealth here, kind of anticipating Creamy. So in a sense, the plays that Omegalul have been making, going after Acro's base time and time again, kind of have forced Corky to sit in this float positioning and has given them the edge in the team fight. But now Corky has realized that Benny is indeed in the team fight, and so should he be. So he's going to go ahead and immediately activate that Moonkin for him and join his teammates here on Waterworks.
Yeah, now both teams collide here at Waterworks. We're over the halfway point to a victory between these teams and match point. Crowd control and maxed and damage onto Zwexmix, but he has pulled far away from the base. They really can't afford to overextend, and now totally stabilized. We look at mana, it's fairly even between both healers on opposing sides. Really the only significant advantage is Monkarns with the Mortal Strike effect on Rising Sun Kick. Interrupt onto Zwexmix while Max goes for a drink. Big play here from Corki, potentially for the team. Can they get the kill? Max is forced to stop drinking, come back and heal. Zwexmix recovers, but they deny the drink regardless. Kane activating the Infernals, ramping up that Grimoire of Supremacy with Rain of Fire, so every soul shard he spends increases the damage of his next Chaos Bolt further. So skill cap really need to focus on stopping Kane from casting Chaos Bolt for the next couple of seconds. If he is able to sneak out a few, it could be an opportunity for his team to net a kill and maybe the entire team fight. So they are pressuring Kane, all interrupting crowd control to stop him. Hex as well. This Chaos Bolt gets War Stomped. Skill capped on top of the strategy here from Kane, unable to get a Chaos Bolt during that moment of time where the damage would be increased. Great denial from Skill capped. No openings really for Omegalul. We do see Creamy repositioned to try and Ninja Cap against Acro. Though now we see crowd control. Zwexmix is isolated. Further here with a Capacitator Totem. Another stun. Acro gets the trinket from Creamy, so any opportunity for Creamy to really win this 1v1 is basically lost. I mean, Creamy is just going to be a toy for Acro at this point. Blinding him on the trinket, he could basically just 100-0 him, I think, if he really wanted to. Curious to see if that's what he decides to do. Corki knows that that could be dangerous, so he's peeling out of the team fight. But we've seen Benny against Corki, and it goes in Benny's favor 100% of the time. So Cavi is then trying to peel out. But Monkarns knows that Creamy has left his base undefended, so he goes and tries to take it, but Max realizes that and peels out, so the team fight has basically been abandoned from both sides once again, and we've got a 2 versus 2 between Omegalul and Skill Capped. Can Benny and Creamy overcome the advantage before Cavi makes it? Max is crossing as well. Corki is low on health. Cavi swings in, pops the Avenging Wrath, gets one holy shot, connects a heal, needs the big one, gets it. Corki stabilizes and recovers. In the meantime, ARG building some momentum on Lone Tar, desperately to try and win the fight at Waterworks. Quite the stalemate between these teams, but that initial advantage to Skill Capped is going to be carrying them to victory unless Omegalul can make something happen.
Yeah, and this play is going to force another person to sit back here at the base. We can see Creamy still in the middle, and more importantly, still doesn't have his Gladiator's Medallion. So if he goes back to his base, Acro could easily go there and potentially steal that away from him if he manages to land a sap or get any crowd control. So they realize that, and they're going to put Benny on defense here. Now having their rogue kind of playing in the team fight, not ideal. Creamy as well going to be making his way back. His trinket is going to be up in about 20 seconds, so he's going to be looking to make that defensive swap with Benny, so Benny once again can come out 2 mines and try to cause a distraction to happen that could swing his team's team fighting potential. But right now we see Cervantes actually taking a little bit of damage here in the middle, but he should be fine for now. Death Knight's a pretty durable class here. Lontar as well backing him up. Nice hex onto Zuex here. Benny now finally joining the team fight, and Cervantes I don't think minds being the target at all in this team fight. He knows he has a lot of cooldowns to work with, and as I say that, he actually drops kind of dangerously low, but Earthen Wall told him should be enough to deflect this situation.
Instant imprison on the Fist of Fury there. Good denial from Benny. We do see Corki peeled out with Acro as Max is installed. Benny's moving over. The team fight once again abandoned by Omegalul, but I think they're leaving Creamy behind. Cavi was trying to cap, so that is fortunate that they did leave Creamy there to make sure that that did not happen, but now he won't be on offense. I mean, it's Resto Druid, Demon Hunter against Moonkin Rogue. Maybe a bit more evenly matched here. Max gets sapped. That's huge opening here for Skill Capped, and Cavi can move into support if he needs to. Big advantage here for Skill Cap. They should be cleaning up this offensive attempt quite easily as Max is crowd controlled for an extended period of time against that Subtlety Rogue, and Benny is going to get closed in on. So as the healer, Max by himself, unlikely to get a kill, but now he's going to get slowed and he's going to get denied from leaving this base, which means that Zwexmix once again will be the only healer at Waterworks, but I feel like he's basically been the only healer at Waterworks the entire fight anyway, so he's probably not sweating nearly as much as I think that he would in this position. Double leg sweep. ARG the target. Not really a big fan of the Death Knight as the target. I think if Holy Paladin is all by himself, he must be the priority for the Windwalker Death Knight. They're finally going after Zwexmix. Can they kill him? Monkarns all over him. Shyvana is not able to. He's actually still going after ARG. Max has stayed at the base, though. Creamy moves in. Resto Rogue versus Moonkin Rogue. Cavi, though, in the back line is floating behind the cliff, waiting in the wings to support if needed between both bases. Lone Tar looks solid at Waterworks, so he's not going to need any help. Cavi's going to move in, and we're going to have a 3 versus 3 if Benny moves towards the node. It looks like he may be going towards the team fight instead. He's got to make a decision quick. He is going to be going towards the 3 versus 3. Monkarn sees the opportunity to go for the open base, so Benny can't go for that 3 versus 3. If Monkarns makes his way over, Monkarns has got the clear. Cavi's got Benny's crowd controlled. There's no one to stop Monkarns from ninjaing the base. He managed to find an opening. Benny needs to get there, but he's got 2 fell rushes. I don't think that's enough mobility for Benny to get there in time. Monkarn's in position and likely to secure the game here for Skill Capped. Great awareness there. Solid hold from Skill Cap. They saw the opening. They saw the mistake, took full advantage, and are now likely to take the game.
Beautifully done there. And once again, it all comes down to the lead that was established earlier on here by Skill Capped when they managed to stall it out a little bit. And this time around, Monkarn is also going to stick around with the base here, activating his Touch of Death onto Benny. He's going to go ahead and use that darkness to mitigate that damage. Cooldowns are being popped from both players, and Cavi as well is in the fight here, backing up Monkarns. And that's going to force a lot of people here from Waterworks potentially to either leave the base, or they're going to be forced to just outright win the base quickly. I really don't like the float positioning from Corki. I think Corki should be closer to mines potentially. He knows that they have a Holy Paladin and a Monk here against a single Demon Hunter. Not really going to be a big issue. Monkarns even has his Trinket, so this should allow them to cap that base, and they do. Creamy now on the way in. I think he's going to realize very quickly that there's nothing he can do here to take this base back, and now instead Omegalul are going to be forced to win the fight at Waterworks pretty much immediately. Even if they win that fight, honestly, they're going to lose. They have no income right now of points whatsoever. It's looking really, really bad for Omegalul.
Beautiful dance from Skill Cap, despite Omegalul's trickery and strategy to try and throw a loop to the veteran arena players. The arena players hold strong in their defense and manage to sneak through with a tiny opening. Monk Arn's MVP here of the team, offensively getting that ninja cap, securing their team victory against Omegalul 2-1 in the lower bracket. And these players with so much notoriety are going to be staying alive, looking to try and get that grand finale, take that first place finish. Well played from both teams.
Yep, big congratulations to Skill Cap. They will be moving on to face Bigburstovic in the lower finals. And then we say goodbye to our friends at Omegalul. They put up a valiant effort. They did surprise us all this entire 6v6 tournament. They made a fan of me, and I hope they made a fan of you guys as well.
And we know Acro and Monkarns, they are 2 of the most mobile classes. They can keep up with the Demon Hunter to some extent, so you're going to look to catch him out in kidney shots, and the gates have opened. Sid?
I think not having a Death Knight is going to play a very much so important part of this game, because Acro and Monkarns almost killed Benny in the last series with a Death Knight gripping them, snaring them, preventing them from connecting. Now, without those snares, without that support, I'm not sure if Sona will be able to survive. Divinovic, that Retribution Paladin, he's got the Berserking. I can tell that D-Machine probably has his eyes glued to the screen right now, with the Avenging Wrath potentially being pulled here shortly to find a kill. Maybe baiting a cooldown with just a Berserking, then going for the Avenging Wrath later on. Divinovic is 1 versus 1 in Cavi in midfield, although it's going to be difficult, I think, for a Retribution Paladin to go after a Holy Paladin, so maybe he has to give up the chase. He's just trying to prevent Cavi from getting to the flag carrier as much as possible. We do see Sona having an equally difficult time on the opposing side. Who's going to pick up the flag first? Corki is. Sona gets sapped. So Corki, potential opportunity for a quick cap if they can keep Sona crowd controlled.
Nicely done here by Nala as well, sapping up Corki. They already forced out Sona's Trinket here, and Sona is making his way down. And now Corki, he actually drops the flag here. A kind of bad-mannered move here from Corki. I think did he re-pick up the flag? He did re-pick up the flag there, and now he's making his way down to the tunnel here. Nala's going to go ahead and blind up Cavi. He's going to Trinket out of that, hit Corki with the Blessing of Protection here. Divinovic, though, kind of laying down the law already here on that Retribution Paladin. Now Cervantes back in the fight. Corki dropping the flag second time there and picking it up. I don't know if it's a flag or it's the basketball, but he's definitely bouncing it up and down, and he's making his way down the tunnel with the freedom, actually going back in trying to kill Nala over here, but Nala now catching Corki out in a smoke bomb. Cavi doesn't have a blessing of protection. Corki, what are you going to do? Lontar connects with the Earthbind Totem and the Earthen Wall protection there, right in the nick of time, should be able to stabilize Corki, and Corki's even still taking Nala down with him. Nala, one more hit from Cavi is gonna do it, send him to the graveyard. Now Divinovic all by himself. Don't think he should be able to take down Corki, not when the stacks are this low, and when he has so much backup, he's gonna go down as well. But luckily for him, he can still res together with Nala and coordinate a new assault, as we see Sona caught up in a smoke bomb. Sid.
Ring of Peace actually knocks Sona out of the smoke bomb. Maybe a missed timing on Monkarn's part, but Sona needs to get to that jump location as soon as possible at the graveyard. Somehow avoid being shadow stepped to, so they're going to need to make sure they stun Acro when Sona makes the escape. Bubblevic gets swapped to. Skill capped have total domination of the team fight. Potentially going to be graveyard camping Bigburstovic. Sona gets gripped down back into the fight by Cervantes. Looks like he's unable to escape for now. Locked into a kidney shot, but no crowd control onto his healers, so not taking too much pressure as a result. Double leg sweep hits the Ret Paladin and the Demon Hunter. Hex, Jamu needs to be dispelling these hexes. Orcs don't die, sitting through a full hex. That's very devastating for the team of Bigburstovic. 8 seconds of only one healer. Now Sona managing to at least escape up top, but getting gripped right back into the fight, and Skill Capped is just totally owning Bigburstovic. Spearling Totem now pulled out from the defensive lineup. Lone Tar caught into a blinding light. Maybe an opportunity for Bigburstovic, but it's still just momentum all in favor of Skill Capped. Sona jumps up to safety. Acro Shadow steps to connect. He's the only member. Ring of Peace. Sona trying to stay on top, but Ring of Peace pins him back down to the bottom. Sona giving up on that location, but gripped back into the fight. Sona unable to escape without those Death Knight snares, without the Chains of Ice. The Skill Captor just chasing him down and going for the kill. Sona's still somehow, someway staying alive. Acro cycloned at low health. Jamma maybe trying to set up a swap out of the Cyclone. Lontar setting up some chain heals. Going to be denying that. Sona repositioning up into the ramp, or inside the tunnel, looking to get closer to the flag, but he still has a Windwalker and a Rogue. He can't overextend too much away from his healers. Stun locked in the tunnel with 3 members attacking him. Bubblevic goes for a big heal, but he's stacked up. Big mistake. Stacked up in the tunnel. Close quartered combat leaves them open to multi-purpose crowd controls, and now Sona is so low on health. Ring of Peace could deny the healers from getting to Sona from the tunnel. Monkarn's a beautiful positioning on that. Great attempt by Skill Capped, and first cap is going to go to them. This is looking like a totally different Skill Cap from yesterday.
What a great attack here by Skill Capped. Acrolols and Monkarns doing such a great job here, staying onto one of the most slippery targets that you can ever encounter in PvP combat. Sona on that Demon Hunter, not going to be able to survive there, and a lot of that is because of the plays by Cervantes in the offense, gripping down Sona when he is on the graveyard, allowing Acro to reconnect with the Shadow Step, when Monkarn's Ring of Peace as well there. All of them really contributing. We see Corki going for a little hibernate there on Orcs Don't Die, and he's just going to be walking across the map in travel form. Lontar ready to drop the flag. Is he going to drop it next to Divinovic? Beautiful Hammer of Justice. Lontar waiting with the flag drop right there. Beautiful swap there, making sure Divinovic can't click that flag. And we see Sona actually caught up in a sap. He doesn't have a trinket. This could be it. Corki could be going for a quick cap here, as we see the flag is being picked up now by Jamu instead, but that's not the target where you want to have the flag. Skill Cap has a huge opportunity here, Sid.
Yeah, once again, you want that flag on the tanks. So Sona, in this case, Jamu being the balanced druid, is hanging out on top of the graveyard, waiting for Sona to jump up for a safe transfer. That would make the most sense. I would not like to see Jamma jump down the side. Sona gets Ring of Peace. They're trying to stall the exchange, but no one can get up there. Easy exchange, good awareness from Jamu, not panicking and trying to get to the team too quickly, making sure that there's a safe transfer. Now maybe going for offense. Jamu is moving up into the tunnel, looking to reconvene with Nala to take out Corki. Will they be able to? Let's see what the situation looks like. Lone Tar is far away. It is only Cavi with the flag carrier. So Moonkin Rogue, if they can crowd control Cavi. Hammer of Justice looks good so far to try and take out Corki. Lone Tar is still far away from the fight, but just no damage on the Corki. Kidney shot, Cyclone, good combo. This could be it. They need more though. Where's the crowd control? they don't keep the chain going. Cavi saves the day with a defensive cooldown. Corki will begin to stabilize, and Lontar has now made it back to the fight. With both Lontar and Cavi there, unlikely to see Bigburstovic find a kill anytime soon. Divinovic under huge fire, though. Divine Shield, I believe, to stay alive, and even still having a difficult time recovering with 3 members of his team on offense, all at 50% health and absolutely no mana. It's looking like skill caps are going to wipe the offense of Bigburstovic here momentarily. Can Divinovic keep it going with nothing left in the tank? Holding on by a thread. Avenging Crusader on 1%. Divine blinding light onto everyone, but dies despite it. Nala is trying to retreat away, maybe regenerate some health, but Cervantes is on his tail. Absolutely no way Nala is going to be escaping with Lontar now moving over. Jamo and Nala are trying to reset, but they're not going to let them. So the offense for Bigburstovic has been thwarted. Lontar looks like he's now going to be leaving defense and going on to offense. Nala is still trying to kite away. Jama has actually managed to escape. So Cervantes, he tried to juke Cervantes by shadow stepping up as Cervantes went down, but was on the slope and fell down to now probably almost certain death against Cervantes. Jama trying to support it. Cervantes in a 1v2. Cervantes, I think, is likely to actually take the 1 versus 2 pretty easily. Nala's still on sub 10%, trying to make it to the hut, but this is not the Leaf Hut, so it's not going to be regenerating his health. Still pulling away. Cavi there to support. Cyclone stalls it for now as Jama and Nala desperately just tried to stay alive. I'm not even sure at this point if it's worth it, but maybe they just never kill them. They just hold them in snares and prevent them from getting back to the fight. Divinovic is got berserking, and he's going to go after the flag carrier while Cavi is far away and distracted with Nala. I wonder if they didn't even see Divinovic go up the tunnel. Lontar and crowd control though on the opposing side. Curious to see if Corki gets punished for this. Nala has distracted Cavi in midfield. Jamu's got him crowd control. Divinovic might be able to 1v1 Corki. That's really what's going to have to wait and see if it happens. But Corki sees the Retribution Paladin and moves back towards Cavi, so now that is not an opportunity. Bigburstovic trying to keep skill capped on their toes, but skill capped have improved so much over yesterday to today, and I'm almost thinking that they might be able to take this entire thing, Zico.
Yeah, it's looking very likely right now. They have a very commanding positioning. Cervantes taking down Nala there. He's going to slow down the offense. And now if they can take down Divinovic as Nala just rezzed, that would be huge here for Skillcap's defense. Jamu as well, with that Celestial alignment, is going to throw out a couple of Cyclones. But I think he should be fine for now. Divinovic doing what he can to get away from Cervantes. But man, those Chains of Ice are annoying. And as I say that, Divinovic actually on his Divine Steed gets war stomped by Cavi into a Hammer of Justice here. Beautifully executed. It's going to allow Cervantes to not only reconnect, but it's going to allow Corki as well to escape from that red completely. And that's exactly what he needs to be doing. Even if you're a Guardian Druid, red Paladins are not what you want to be tanking. You're not enough shadow stepping over to get a sap. Corki, though, in combat, going to get kidney shot right now, and he should be fine for this attack here. The Maledicts are flying in. Lontar's going to dispel that, drop the Earthenwall Totem as well. Cavi and Corki and Lontar are just kind of 3v1ing Nala right now, so he should be fine. Now on the flip side, Sona doesn't have a trinket, so there could be a potential opportunity there if Acro and Monkarn can connect. Acro in the tunnel saps up Sona. He's going to allow Monkarn time to reach his target. Switches the sap to Bublovic. Nice kidney shot here, no trinket. Monkarn, do you have the damage to back it up? There's the Ring of Peace. Double leg sweep potentially could be enough crowd control here, and they do get the paralyzed. They finish him off, but the blinding light allows Bublovic to pick up the flag. What a play.
I mean, he's still got a rogue and a windwalker. Sona gets the body rest. Can he get the transfer? This is what it's going to come down to. Can Sona pick up the flag fast enough? They get it. They drop it while he was stunned. They didn't expect him to drop it while he was stunned, I think. And Sona was able to pull off the transfer. He's got Monkarn feared up. He's jumped up to safety. Acro Shadow steps over. Monkarns, where's your Transcendence? It's up there. But Acro gets Illidan's grasp off the side, and Bublovic could probably kill Acro with the Avenging Crusader. In the meantime, Nala gets the kill over onto Corki, but flag transfers over to Cavi. Constant pressure on both fronts. Can Bigburstovic pull off the miracle? Cavi in trouble. No support here. Lontar gets interrupted. Beautiful setup here. That's going to be a cap for Bigburstovic, and I do believe within the realm of the rules, it's the team that capped most recently that wins. So skill cap, they're now on the clock.
Wow, Bublovic with the save here, picking up the flag off of that double divine light, and then as well he gets the flag transfer when they least expect it. Great stuff all around here from Bablovic, for sure the MVP for Team Bigburstovic. Now he drops a Blessing of Protection on the sap, combine it with the Freedom, so Acro is forced to use his Shadowy Duel here. Shouldn't be enough still for Sona. If he combines it with a jump right now, he actually gets the Crippling Poison, he gets the blind, no Blessing of Protection available here. So Sona's getting slowed down, but on the flip side, Nala is doing exactly the same thing to Corki here. Corki is going to do what he can to run away from the situation. Lontar going to be able to top him off, and Corki is so quick here. And Monkarns has already picked up the flag. He's going to go ahead and take that down the tunnel, deliver that little package here for Corki, and he's going to pick that up and immediately try to go for the speed cap. A little bit of an overlap right there with the Ring of Peace, but just in case there's any rogues in the neighborhood, Monkarns wanted to be safe to make sure no one stops that flag transfer. Nala now going to reconnect with the blind onto Monkarns, Kidney Shot onto Corki. Maledicts are connecting. Orcs Don't Die even pitching in with a few lightning bolts. You see that Team Bigburstovic really want this win, Sid.
Yeah, you can really tell what a close call. Insane plays from Divinovic. If Bigburstovic managed to win this, it's all on his shoulders with that snipe pickup, with the transfer during the stun. Really MVP there for the team just when they needed it. And now skill capped, they've only got 6 minutes, 53 seconds to get a cap, or they are going to be losing the first round, which we did not anticipate with such high-level arena players. We expect on the team fight-oriented maps for them to find victory, but Bigburstovic pull off a big miracle play, and now skill capped, they're in dire straits to try and take this back. One advantage they still hold is that Unholy Death Knight with the Chains of Ice, currently crowd controlling Orcs Don't Die from getting back to Sona. Now Sona has just jumped across the battlefield. Cervantes is actually on offense. Blinding Light, but Monkarns and Acrolol in hot pursuit, and it's going to be a Death Knight Rogue Windwalker against a Vengeance Holy Paladin Restoration Shaman. And it seems like skill capped are really putting the pressure on, but Hex on Cervantes will slow it for now. Curious to see what kind of pressure Corki is under on the opposite side of the map. He is actually stunned up while Nala has Cavi crowd controlled. This is good burst onto Corki. If Sona can stay alive, crowd control is endless. Corki trinkets out of Cyclone, but both his healers are still crowd controlled. Needs to be enough defense. Corki appears to be stabilizing for now as Cavi blows through vital defensives as well as the Spirit Link Totem, basically all the defensive lineup for skill cap to keep Corki alive during that assault. Sona in a good position to escape to safety, and without the Chains of Ice, Divinovic is going to be able to stay on target. Jama is going to be able to stay on target, but Sona still in trouble in the meantime. Smoke Bomb gets dropped, trying to disrupt all of the healers here of the team of Bigburstovic. It's all about just not dying at this point. Sona jumping up to the graveyard. Where's the grip? Where's the Shadow Step? Where's the Transcendence? They need to get back on target. Monkarns with the Transcendence. Sona now needs to make a decision. Does he jump down? He is going to jump down, but back into the clutches of Acro. Bablovic is still blinded. One interrupt onto Orcs Don't Die could close the game out. He fake casts with the chain heal, gets the second. Bablovic moves over, is able to stabilize. Cervantes actually switches targets for a moment. Bablovic with the sacrifice damage redirected, has to Divine Shield. Is going to stay alive, but that was his most powerful defensive cooldown now out of the way. Acro, Earth Grab rooted up by Orcs Don't Die. Corki in trouble on the opposite side of the map. It's constantly back and forth between these teams, down to the wire.
Yeah, beautiful done. And now another stun here onto Sona. No escape available. Corki going down on the flip side here. The flag gets returned. If Sona doesn't die in the stun lock, this could be a potential 2-1 cap happening here for Team Bigburstovic. Monkan realizes the situation, going immediately to pick that flag up. Sona, realizing the danger he is in as well, he's going to completely run away to the other side here, and he actually does drop the flag here, and it's a complete reset. They realize that if they drop the flag and reset the stacks, they can actually just win the game that way. So Bigburstovic here with some big brain plays here. They're gonna go ahead and reset the stacks completely. Now all they have to do is stall for 4 minutes, and they will win this game.
Big brain to Vic here in game number 1 against skill capped with a miracle play off the shoulders of Divinovic, MVP for the team really in this first game. And it's only a best of 3, so that is going to put skill capped on match point if they can't pull something off quick. They've only got 4 minutes left on the clock to be able to get a cap. Can the arena veterans, BlizzCon competitors pull it off? Corki is just so low on health. He's not even maybe able to make it for the transfer. Nala's on top of him. Acro moves over. Maybe he's going to be able to save the day here. Corki is trying to connect, but Nala is just owning him right now with pressure. If Corki dies even without the flag, that's a real statement from the team of Bigburstovic. Corki gets Blessing of Protection, makes it across. They need to get the transfer. Monkarns needs to give the flag over to Corki. They drop the flag. Where's the pickup? Okay, Corky gets the pickup. A little bit delayed there. Might have been an opportunity for Bigburstovic to return it, actually. In the meantime, Sona with the flag as well. Corky's still getting trained down. Sona has the support of his team. Acro is going to have a hard time killing him by himself. Whereas on the opposite side, Cavi is in a blind. Divinovic actually getting Terminator style down by Cervantes. Gladiator's Maledicт, multiple stuns. Divinovic in trouble on the run, already using the Divine Shield earlier. Doesn't have that safety net. Does get back to the safety of his team. Now with the Avenging Wrath pulled out, he's going to be doing tons of damage. Corky could be in a lot of trouble. Acro is getting cleaved down and could fall as well. Cavi is Cyclone. Lontar not in any crowd control though. Acro retreats away. He cannot go into that blender. Instead, trying to maybe go after Sona. Blinds him up in midfield. Bubblovic's at his side. Acro just holding Sona in midfield. Exposed without that Z-axis for safety. Buying time for his team. Now Monkarns closing over. Earth, Wind, and Fire rotates the sap over, but Orkstone dies in position. He gets gripped away by Cervantes. Good crowd control from Skill Capped, but Bubblovic breaks out and is able to stabilize Benny quite effectively. It's now Corky who is actually in quite a bit of trouble. Will he fall? He's got the support of his team. I feel like it should be unlikely. Lone Tar gets Cyclone. Nala gets bursted down with that added Guardian Druid damage. Maybe enough to pull it off. Divinovic is trying to support him with some extra heals on that Red Paladin. The Blinding Light, though, denies any more support. Nala barely holding on. He has to stay alive if they want to keep up the offense, but there's effectively no healer here for the team. Nala has to just avoid the fight for now. Let his teammates really develop momentum, try and escape and reset his health and go in for a push. Acro, in the meantime, on offense has gone down, and Bigburstovic, all they have to do is not die, and they're going to get victory here on Warsong Gulch, game number 1, and it's looking good with Acro out of the fight, dying so early on. Still only a minute and 27 seconds to kill Sona.
Yeah, but we do see Nala as well forced back now. Honestly, if I was Bigburstovic now, I would just put most of their players on defense. There's no reason to even have an offense at this point. 1 more minute and they will win it. And they do find Acro here in a kidney shot. This could be big for their defense as well. Nala just doing what he can here to stall it out. Blinds up Acro. Acro trinkets out of that one immediately. He could potentially get sapped here before he gets the restep up. Clever movement. He's going to allow him to get that restep up. Now Acro looking for the sap himself. Going to be able to find it, but he had to use that shadow step now. Nala trinkets out of that, gets resapped on his trinket, and Acro again, you know, showing off his mechanics there. But to what use here? Sona is got to be the target of choice. He has to use his trinket out of that stun there, but he still has a lot of cooldowns to work with here. He's still next to Bubblovic, and we know Bubblovic, he has some cooldowns to rotate around here. Freedom is being used onto Sona. If Sona doesn't go down in the next 30 seconds here, we're going to see Bigburstovic walk away with this one, Sid.
30 seconds left on the clock. Sona on the run with Bubblovic to support. Monkar and Cervantes having a difficult time reconnecting to their target. But in the meantime, Corky is wiping up the offense. So they're going to most likely be able to survive. But they have to do a lot more than survive. They got 9 seconds on the clock to kill Sona. Sona is so far away from the fight. Nobody inside of even being able to tickle him. Bigburstovic pull off a big miracle against Skill Capped in game 1.
I don't even know if you could call that a miracle.
Those 40 paladin cooldowns with Soda now. On the side of Skill Capped, they do have Corky as well as Cervantes as potential orb carriers, and they have themselves the Holy Paladin as well. So yeah, they could potentially mirror that strategy. We're going to see both teams engaging. There's a rogue in the middle. You see Sona immediately going for that orb. No one picking it up on the side of Skill Capped here. So again, now Sona immediately making his way down to the middle as the fight gets started, Sid.
Yeah, no one has picked up orange orbs, so the points are already building for Bigburstovic, but kills also grant points, so if Skill Cap can take advantage of the damage taken and find a kill, wipe up the team, they will get a huge lead, but they're the ones getting wiped up. Lone Tar at half health, Cavi struggling to recover, Sona still being targeted down, Dispersion traded as he retreats, trying to escape to safety, but with a Windwalker, Death Knight, and a Rogue, I don't know if there is anywhere safe on this map for you to go. Lone Tar is still taking a huge brunt of damage, and this is the advantage of the Red Paladin on these close quarters. This is why Temple of Kotmogu, I would have said, is so much more favored to Bigburstovic. The risk that Skill Cap took on this map selection, knowing they had this composition in their back pocket, but now finally momentum, Bubblovic, 10% health, barely hangs on. Cavi now getting reversed on, Sona likely to fall, orb return, but only 10 points to 100 162. Skill Cap need to clean up this fight. They need to pick up the flags, but Divinovic already in position. Nala already in position. Corky's trying to outrun him. Who's going to get it first? Corky does. Orbs are now tied between the teams, but already a point lead established, and I think that was a bit of a mistake from Skill Cap early on, not taking the orb, but they are finally wiping them up. Divinovic likely to fall as Orcs Don't Die is interrupted. Divinovic holds on. No, he's going to fall. Who picks it up? Lontar and Cavi in position, but reluctant to do so. Monkarn's going to roll over, pick it up. Now it's 2 orbs for Skill Cap if Corky doesn't go down momentarily as the chaos continues.
Nicely done here by Skill Cap to kind of recover from that opener. We saw a much cleaner kill here onto Sona early on. He managed to go through all of the cooldowns pretty much immediately due to some nice swapping. And now we see Corky taking 2 Chaos Bolts there to the face from Jamu. He's going to be able to survive for now, but for how long? Monkarns and Corky both kind of covering behind that pillar. Cavi now caught up, gets sniped by the Chaos Bolt. Cataclysm now casted out. Monkarn, how are you going to survive? Green Orb return. Corky now next on the chopping block. Jamu getting kicked up here by Acro doing what he can, but it's not going to be enough as Nala claims another victim. Cervantes immediately picking up the next orb, and we see Sona though finally managing to get the orb and take it to the middle as Lontar actually roots in and hexes him on the edge there. So I'm not sure if Sona actually was getting 15 points there per tick, but Cervantes going to take the orb and walk it all the way to the side, and I don't like the stall strategy because the debuff is just stacking for him though, so I feel like he has to, but at the same time, it's not the greatest spot to be in if you are Skill Cap, because now Cervantes, he's going to be able to go down immediately. It's all going to come down to the re-pick up.
He needs to be getting in the middle now that he's connected with his healer. He had no healer and 3 DPS members chasing him, so he at least held some sort of point income during that moment in time, but now that the healers are back, they need to get in the middle. They need to start winning the team fight. Chaos Bolt sniped out onto Cavi from downstairs on Jamu. Corky isolated. Lontar and Cavi out of position to heal him, trying to get back to his side and his aid. Will they get there in time? No, Corky will fall, taking the Boomkin and all of his burst out of the fight for an extended period of time. Crowd control from Bigburstovic is solid here. They get the kill on Cervantes. 2 members down for Skill Cap. The lead now in favor of Bigburstovic. And suddenly, the arena team, Skill Cap, he's managed to swing it back, trying to make me eat my words. Sona will get closed out. Monkarn rolls over, picks up the orb, reluctant to go into midfield, being down 2 members of the team. It's not a safe place to be, but Nala is hunting him. Divinovic hunting him as well. Monkarn's far out of line of sight. Where's the Transcendence? I think it's too far away. Jamu is left in midfield. Monkarn's manages to at least get back in the middle. Lontar is there. Cavi is there. No high stacks just yet, only 60% with a lot of defensive cooldowns. I would say it's unlikely to see Monkarns die at this point, but Bigburstovic already with almost double the points. Skill Cap need to try and get a double cap or at least get a kill and deny the income, but they're the ones falling behind. Both teams in trouble. Solar beam dropped. All members of the team low on health. Perfect combo there from Corky, cleaning it up, and now they've got the double orb, exactly what they needed to stay in the fight.
Exactly, very nice done here by Corky. He picks up the orb and he gets the kill as well for his team. Divinovic looking for that red damage. He has his wings active here. Corky in big trouble. He swaps over to Monkarns and erases his character in 2 hits there. Now looking for Corky, and this is what we were talking about in the pregame. The Retribution Paladin doing so much damage to these orb carriers. Lontar gets interrupted by the Shadow Priest into a silence. Corky potentially could go down, and he does. Nala immediately picking up one of the orbs. Sona picking up the other orb. It's looking good again for Team Bigburstovic as Lontar now gets cleaned up here in the middle. Acro is going to go ahead and stay in stealth and wait for the stacks to ramp up a little bit before he decides to engage here on the Shadow Priest. He gets the double garrote, swaps over to Nala, tries to erase him here with the help of Cervantes. I think Void Shift actually was forced out there by Sona to keep Nala alive there and to ensure that they're getting both of their points. Now I think Sona still has his dispersion, so really nice play there to keep the orb in their possession as those points are racking up.
Nala targeted down. How much longer can they keep him alive? The double cap finally taken away, but still holding on to 1. Now Divinovic with the quick pick. Still has 2 orbs for the team. Now, once again, establishing almost a double point domination against Skill Cap. But look at the mana. Orcs Don't Die has none. He's in a hex. Bubblewick's stunned. Sona will fall. Where's the pickup? Monk Arns rolls over. Jamma gets gripped away. Good teamwork for Monk Arns to get the pickup, but they need to wipe it up. They have to clean this out. Divinovic with the orbit, 60% increased damage taken and no mana on the Shaman. Crowd control into Bubblewick and likely to find a kill. Can they get it? Orcs Don't Die is sitting down for a drink. Bubblewick has to keep the team going by himself, but he does it. Orcs Don't Die get mana and stay in the fight. Now ahead of Lone Tar. terms of mana, in terms of points, even on orbs. But suddenly, Divinovic gets bursted. Jamo reversing with 2 Chaos Bolts of his own. Monk Arms barely survives that hit. Suddenly, Skill Cap have 2 orbs in their possession. If they can hold on to it, even for a few seconds, they could be tying up the score. Monk Arms needs to be careful. Ring of Peace, how well can he utilize it? Not able to. Mortal Coil away from its safety. Nala on target. Cavi with potentially redirected damage to sacrifice. Limited mana. Jamu actually getting owned right now. Orcs don't die. Conduit interrupt. Double Warstomp. They're going to find the kill into the Destro Lock. Without the Chaos Bolts, can they get a kill on the double orb possession? Desperately trying to, but I don't think they can. That perfect timing, the double Warstomp, perfectly placed by Skill Cap, is allowing them to somehow, someway claw back in the point standings. Monk Arms falls down. Divinovic with the pick, but now only a 100-point lead.
Skill Cap tying things up here for us as Corky is trying to survive, and he's doing some nice jukes there to stay in the middle actually, but he gets caught up in the kidney shot, gets immediately deleted. Acro with the quick pickup there, already in positioning as that orb carrier goes down, keeps the orb in Skill Cap's possession and going back into the middle now, looking for Divinovic, but Divinovic is a ret with full HP and wings, looking at Acro. One attack might just take him down here. Infernals get dropped, Acro falls, and we see the orb is once again picked up here by Sona, making his way down to the middle. The ideal orb carriers here for Team Bigburstovic as they secure a big lead. Jamu now going to take down Lontar as well. Cervantes ducking out of the fight, doesn't want anything to do with this as we see a full team wipe here for Bigburstovic. That should be it.
That's it. Skill Cap, they're out. There's no way. That's it. They're done. They just got 2-0'd by Bigburstovic. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have bet with my brain. I'm not sure. I mean, Corky's trying to pull something together here, but it's basically impossible. The Rep Paladin Dream, the Retribution Paladin Dream, only 100 more points to go. They're just getting smashed. Corky's so low on health. I mean, he's doing everything he can, but with a rogue on him, no way. You're out. Skill Caps are out of the tournament, and Bigburstovic with their unique composition, maybe not. If Sona goes down with 10 points left on the clock, there's defensive cooldown. Sona is not going to be going down.
Trout. On the flip side, the offense of Nala and Jamu is solid, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Now, Maxi, again, not playing a Gnome, so he's going to be on that Night Elf, so the Root Solar Beam combo could force out his Trinket, and then they could get a full blind sap and potentially take down Blizzo on that Demon Hunter. But Blizzo himself, a very slippery Demon Hunter. We've seen him, a veteran of the arena scene. We were kind of calling him the MVP of 2017 arena season, as we see him making his way past the Berserker Hut, going towards the flag room immediately. So far, didn't even need any kind of dispels or speed ups here from Maxi. Should just be an easy route to the flag room, where Sona already being caught up here by Smertix in the enemy tunnel. Sid.
I feel like both Demon Hunters are in a pretty safe position at this point to pick up the flags. It's really Orcs Don't Die that could be in trouble with a Greater Pyroblast channeled out. Bublovich moving back towards his team, though, realizing that Sona will be fine to carry the flag, not wasting any time, getting back to Orcs Don't Die, saving the day, preventing the burst to kill. And now Smertex is overextended. Who can save Smertex? Looks like he's going to have to save himself with a Vanish. Cloak of Shadows, try and get out of the fight, get back to Fnobbers. Fnobbers now there in position to heal him. Barks keeping up the team's snare. Curious to see how the Demon Hunters navigate across center field. We do still see momentum for Bigburstovic, trying to make me eat my words here in the finals. I am heartless, as I do not think they should be able to win here against Smoked Trout, but potential. Mackie stunned up, but spelled by Fnabarino. Blizzo on the far side crossing. Nala moving over to intercept. Mackie sees him, using the Crackling Jade Lightning to prevent any sort of stealth opener. So Blizzo makes it across the map safely. Sona, on the other hand, is not so safe. Sapped by Smertex and paused in midfield for the team of Smoked Trout to collide. Stunned out of the sap. Divinovic stunned. Orcs Don't Die in a column, but Bublovich out of any sort of crowd control is easily going to stabilize Sona. Sona tossing Smertex to the wind and now getting across the map safely. Both flag carriers in a safe position as the team fight in mid continues.
Yeah, and Jamu was really the MVP there, disrupting Tessia, making sure that that Fire Mage does not connect on Sona. It would have been a devastating situation to have a Sap Demon Hunter and a Greater Pyroblast go off this early on into the match. But Tessia, he's going to go ahead and go all the way around the ramp here to force Sona to go kind of through the tunnel. Now, Smirtex has an opportunity to kind of shadow step over and maybe blind Sona here and actually stall out the situation here and allow his mage to reach. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. They're turning onto Smirtex here instead with that Hammer of Justice. Now Maxi as well caught up in a crowd control. Knobers quick with the Dispel, and there it is. A nice stun here onto Sona. He's going to get out of that one, and he's going to make his way over up to the graveyard. Smirtex in hot pursuit, and this entire time Tessia's just been running around kind of through the tunnel, back out on the graveyard, trying so desperately to reach Sona. Sona having such good awareness here, dodging the situation. As we see a Hibernate go out onto Orcs Don't Die, Cyclone onto Pavlovic, Fnobers doing a 1 versus 2 CC situation here on both of the healers, kind of just playing with them at this point in the game.
Yeah, Fnobber's definitely doing a great job, but they just can't connect to Sona as Sona goes up the ramp or inside the tunnel and up to safety in the flag room. Boblovich is still crowd controlled, so Sona will have to make a decision to leave his healers behind or go back into the fray. And it looks like leaving the healers behind is going to be the choice that is made, as Smirtex desperately wants to connect, but I believe Walrix, is he on defense or on offense is the question. Smirtex still moving forward, that Rogue Mage Druid. Smirtex gets Hammer of Justice dispelled out by Fnobbers. Can Thasia get there in time to close this out? Boblovich on the run to keep up with Sona, managing to escape the Rogue Mage synergy for now. Divinovic actually on defense. Blizzo in trouble across the map from Nala as Mackie is stunned up, desperately trying to escape to safety. Nala gets paralysis. Blizzo holds on for now, but at very low health.
Nicely done there by Maxi with the paralyze into the fear there from Blizzo on that Demon Hunter. Now going to make his way back to the target. He should have a kidney shot available for him, but he doesn't have Jamu, and he even gets gripped back here by Warwicks on the DK Chains of Ice. Blizzo should be able to make it out completely safe here. He's even going to go ahead and tank the kidney shot. The stacks aren't that high. Nala getting turned on actually here. Jamu though going to be able to top him off. I do believe Nala is going to retreat to safety, but Blizzo has kind of thwarted that attack. Now Sona on the flip side is making his way again through the flag room, back out on the graveyard. He should be completely fine here as we see a brawl break out here near the tunnel.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a lap counter for how many times Sona has run up the tunnel around and back outside. Boblovich still at his aid if needed, as the stacks continue to ramp up, and we've seen around, I think it's around the 300% mark is when the Demon Hunters basically turn into glass and will be shattered at a moment's notice. We see Walrix has picked up the Berserking, so he's going to be able to support the defense and maybe even kill off the offense, gripping in Jamu right during a Gladiator's Maledict attempt, denying a lot of burst there. Chains of Ice on Nala. Walrix still just focusing on the Rogue. Removing the Mortal Strike effect would be very important for him and his team. On the opposing side of the map, we see Sona sapped outside the door. Where is Thasia is the question. They definitely need their mage there for the Polymorphs, for the Greater Pyroblast. If they're going to be able to find a kill, he's making his way down the tunnel with an Earth Elemental on him and getting snared up by Orcs Don't Die. Thasia is having a difficult time making it to his target, that being Sona. Sona has now jumped back up once again. Smirtex saps the Paladin, looks for the Shadow Step. Is he in range for the Shadow Step onto Sona? It doesn't appear to be, so maybe they pull back, they kill the healers, and then close in on the Demon Hunter. Smirtex is still just chasing Sona. I feel like at this point they have to go on to the healers. Sona is basically just laughing, running circles up top, having a very difficult time. The offensive Smoke Shroud, that Rogue Mage synergy, is getting dismantled from Sona's kiting. Boblovich sap, but on diminishing return. Blizzo being attacked on the opposing side of the map. Divinovic entering the fray on that Retribution Paladin, trying to be the X factor for the team. Imprisoned onto Nala, stalling it out for a few moments, but in hot pursuit. Jama out in the fray. Ring of Peace knocks two members off the side. Divinovic not able to connect. Perfect defense there from the team of Smoke Trout. Perfect positioning. And now finally, Sona may be in trouble as Smirtex connects.
Nicely done there by Maxi, kind of completely shutting down that entire aggression here. We see Illidan's grasp channel out on Smertex. Nice blind here from Bablovic. Should allow Sona to escape for now. That was the combustion as well of Tessia. And now we can see Sona again back in his tunnel here with Bablovic, kind of spamming out instant heals here to help him out. And there it is. Nice shadow step sap into the kidney shot here. Smertex going for the solo mission. Fnobers caught up in a crowd control, but he should be able to get the bash into the cyclone there. But I do believe no hand of sacrifice actually came through there. Fnobers with the MVP play there, shutting down the flag carrier. But will Blizzo be able to cap the flag? And he is actually able to do so. 1-0 for Smoke Trout.
We did see skill caps cap very quickly against Bigburstovic, so you don't want to count them out just yet. If they can get even one cap and then deny Smoke Trout from capping, they will find victory. Smertex picking up the flag. He's going to need to look to switch that over to Blizzo as soon as possible, but Blizzo is slowed up in the tunnel, having a difficult time making it across midfield, and this could be a dangerous dance to try and transfer the flag. Blizzo double jumping away to try and get to safety. Mackie with a Ring of Peace trying to prevent Divinovic from connecting, but now he's hexed up. Divinovic in hot pursuit to kill Blizzo. Fnobbers, though, in position to easily recover. Blizzo with a safe transfer here. And they are going to transfer the flag over to Blizzo. Now in the hands of the proper flag carrier. Any sort of advantage that would have been there is lost. Good positioning there from Blizzo and Smertex for the handoff, and it might even be a quick cap. I mean, where is Sona? Sona's cycloned in midfield. Is anyone in range of the flag right now? Blizzo gets stunned. They've at least stalled him from making it across, but they still don't have anyone that's picked up the flag. Asia's in position. The death grip denies Sona from escaping. He's bashed now. Who's got the pickup? It looks like Orcs Don't Die is the member that is going to have to do the dirty work, but Thasia intercepts them with a Dragon's Breath and a Polymorph, holding him in place potentially for the team, setting up a greater Pyro Blast, but I don't think anyone else is nearby. Nala waiting for him to jump off the side, anticipating that Orcs Don't Die will jump off at the graveyard, is waiting in stealth. Smertex is there, though, as well. Knobbers gets a cheap shot. They're looking for the handoff. They need to get the flag into Sona's hands. Sona jumps up, but Orcs Don't Die jumps all the way down. This is not going to be a safe transfer. They've got Mage Rogue all on top of this Restoration Drum, and they drop the Smoke Bomb. They go for the kill. Bublovic is there at his side, but still, you want this flag on the Demon Hunter as soon as possible. That was a big mistake by Orcs Don't Die. Maybe a bit of a panic attack to not jump down to the safety at the graveyard, then transfer the flag, and then make it across the map. He has at least managed to make it out of the dog pile into center field. Sona's trying to keep up, but having a difficult time. Smertex still in hot pursuit. Thasia needs to get there. They use Blessing of Freedom to get him over. Divinovic is trying to kill Blizzo by himself. I really don't think he's going to be able to at the amount of stacks that are currently active. So it's really all the pressure onto Sona to try and get the transfer flag off of Orcs Don't Die. Orcs Don't Die has got a lot of distance from the opposing team at the moment, but still is going to be a vulnerable target if they can manage to get there. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Where is Orcs Don't Die going to go? I think it's safe for him to go to the graveyard, try and do a handoff with the Z-axis, protecting any sort of ninja return. He's going to pick up the boots, prevent any sort of catch-up from the opposing team, swiftly make his way over to the graveyard. So maybe a bit of a close call, but Orcs Don't Die is looking like he should be able to get to a safe position for a handoff as Sona makes his way towards the graveyard.
Oh, but Tessia is intercepting him, though. A nice route. Tessia's going to block that immediately. He steals the Spirit Walker's Grace there, and he gets the counterspell, I do believe. No, he gets Wind Sheared into a full hex there. So Orcs Don't Die, doing a great job here, making sure that the mage isn't here. But Sona isn't in range yet for the swap. Tessia now caught up in a Hammer of Justice. He could blink that potentially. A nice bash there. This could be the handoff. Knobers is ready for it. Orcs Don't Die. He doesn't dare dropping the flag just yet. Now caught up in a kidney shot. Now last time we saw the situation, he actually dropped it while he was stunned, so you got to be ready to return the flag at any moment here. Smertex looking for the kill. Can he find it, Sid?
I would say that they've got a huge advantage of taking the Restoration Shaman again. I think Orcs Don't Die should have stayed on the upper platform away from the opposing players, wait for Sona to jump up.
Oh, he dropped it.
Get the transfer, he drops, but they don't get the transfer, which means that Blizzo can get a cap moving forward and will. A 2-0 lead now on Warsong Gulch. 8 minutes, 26 seconds on the clock. Bigburstovic, I think with a big mistake earlier on, Orcs Don't Die had 2 opportunities to wait at the graveyard for a clean transfer and just cracked under the pressure. maybe a bit of a panic attack. Maybe he felt overconfident in his capabilities to be able to carry the flag by himself for the team. But either way, it's a 2-0 lead, and this blind pick is so important. The map pick selection matters so much, as Smoke Trout's victory is going to be on team fight-oriented maps. They want to avoid a match point Temple of Kotmogu, and now with a 2-0 lead, it's looking like they're going to be able to.
Very, very nice stuff here from Smoke Trout. They didn't really allow it, and you got to give credit to Tessia there, chasing Orcs Don't Die all the way around, getting the intercept there, and kind of making him second guess whether or not he could drop it. Ultimately, I agree with you, Sid. He should have stayed there, but it didn't work out for him just now. And as I say that, Tessia looking for a kill here on Sona. He had a nice counterspell there onto Bublovic. Can Smirtix finish? Doesn't look to be the case. You see Sona dipping and dodging. Tessia going for the Ring of Frost, not going to be able to find that one as he is trying to scorch Sona down. Not enough damage, it seems, but Sona is outranging his healers now, and Tessia is in hot pursuit still. If he can reach him here, if he was arcane potentially, he could have just caught up with Sona the entire game and just harassed him, but he is a fire mage, so he's not going to be able to, and Sona going to get that flag now, going his way down to the graveyard, potentially looking to meet up here with Orcs Don't Die and get himself topped off again.
Yep, Sona with the flag, so I don't have to worry about any handoff shenanigans. I just worry that they don't have enough time on the clock to get 2 caps against Smoke Trout. Smirtex stunned up, getting collapsed on, but Mackie in position to recover the Susie miss. Sona crosses midfield, but Fnaubers is there. He may be able to get a Cyclone, get Sigil silenced by Sona into an Illidan's Grasp, trying to slow down the potential Cyclone from allowing Sona to cross the map. But Grip, Ursul's Vortex maybe missed the Cyclone on the jump, just with 1 second remaining. Now Smirtex can set up for a stun, but Blizzo actually in a bit of trouble right now. Able to jump up away from Nala. Ring of Peace, maybe preemptively there, anticipating a Shadow Step, but Ring of Peace not going to hit any members. It's Sona now in a lot of trouble on the upside of the map. Greater Pyro, straight to the face. Glyr's Maledict soaking up some of Bublovic's heals. Can Bublovic keep Sona alive against the Mage Rogue threat? One interrupt could end it. Double Blinding Light. That Blinding Light, so MVP for the Holy Paladins in this tournament. Pausing the Mage Rogue's assault for now, but still pressure on Sona. His health is just not going up. Bublovic is snared, potentially a full polymorph. Sona needs to get to the graveyard and jump up. Thasia, anticipating this, is going to run around rather than running to the target. Sona's at the graveyard, but Thasia is going around. Smirtex looks like he's going to be abandoning any sort of kill, and he's going to be focusing on defense. Not going to be going after Sona, but maybe Thasia does, at least to keep up some momentum for the team. Yeah, Thasia is up top, just keeping the pressure, trying to keep Sona on his toes, but Smirtex is definitely peeling back on defense, and if Smoke Trout just play a safe game from here, they should take it.
Yeah, Tessia now channeling out a couple of greater Pyroblasts. He actually connects 2 of them. If Smirtex was here, he could have potentially taken Sona down, but he had to retreat there for the defense. Blizzard now caught up in a kidney shot on the opposite side of the map here. Nala, hungry for blood, gets the sheep shot follow-up. He has another stun, but does he have the damage to back it up? It doesn't appear to be the case here. Blizzo jumping out of the tunnel, connecting back with Fnaubers. Fnaubers making quick work of his HP bar, topping him back off, and we see another kidney shot here now, and a leg sweep follow that up on Nala. Nala potentially could go down here. We see a smoke bomb drop there as well, and Nala actually managing to recover from that and stay on target. Kidney shot now onto Fnaubers. If Nala can reach Blizzo, he could potentially stun him and take him down. We see Jamu is hungry for blood as well as he is sprinting back. Cervantes with a Warwick, with a beautiful grip there, gonna shut that down. Blizzo jumping back up to the graveyard, and Maxi is in range of throwing him a couple of kills, but Smirtex should also be able to shadow step back there to Blizzo and help him out.
Fnaubers jumping up. It's 3 members against Smirtex. Smirtex with the team as well. Not going to be going on offense whatsoever. So Smoke Trout just want the safe victory, stall it out. Even if they do die and get capped once, they have to get capped on twice. And in 4 minutes, that is a very tall order for Bigburstovic to make. We do see Divinovich making his way over, and maybe that Retribution Paladin burst could be enough for the team to get a kill as the stacks continue to ramp at 90%. On the opposite side of the map, I'm trying to keep my eyes on Sona as well. He's completely by himself. He is chilling. He is fine. It doesn't look like Smoke Trout are going to really even send any sort of threat his way. Walrix is just snaring up Nala, and if you can prevent the Rogue from getting to the target, I mean, really, what can you do? That's all the damage for the team. Hibernate casted on Orcs Don't Die as he tried to sneak out the tunnel in Ghost Wolf. Fnaubers is just on fire with crowd control. Definitely MVP for the team. really preventing Orcs Don't Die from getting back to the team and allowing any sort of extra offense to be added. But with Smurtex there to support, it's just so unlikely. Blizzo has a jungle gym inside the room, jumping around, preventing anyone from connecting. Divinovic is trying to make his way over. Does manage to connect onto Blizzo for now. So Divinovic versus Blizzo at 120% increased damage taken. Nala finally connecting. This could be the first cap for Bigburstovic. Blizzo goes down. He jumps out of range of the return. Macy trinkets out for the pickup. He at least gets the pickup. If he can stall it out, that's all they need to do. So he's going to jump off the side, go back into midfield. Even if he dies, all he has to do is just stall for any amount of time possible. Do not let Bigburstovic get a cap, and then maybe a quick cap in 2 minutes. But with that quick pickup on to the Mistweaver Monk, it's looking unlikely for Bigburstovic to find a kill, but maybe at least get a point on the board. Can they at least get a point? Macy's going to go donate the flag back to them, I guess. That would kind of be BM. I actually kind of wanted to do it. It would be really BM, but Blizzo's making his way downtown as well for the handoff. Maybe they're going to use the opposing base to kite instead of their own base. I mean, they don't even care about dying at this point. It's just almost physically impossible for Bigburstovic to close the gap. Interrupt, double crowd control on both healers. Maybe an opportunity. Life Cocoon holds on defense for now. Blizzo is just getting destroyed. He looks like he's going to be going down. He jumps to mid, goes down. Macy once again with a quick pickup, rolls over. Fnobbers jumps in. Fnobbers with the pickup, just trying to make sure it's a clean game with no points on the board. Fnobbers is going to go down. Macy with the quick pickup. Can he get to safety? They blind Smurtex, but they break it. Star Surge is a kick team. Macy drops it for Smurtex to pick up, so the healer isn't taking increased damage. Holds on at like 1% health. Manages to stay alive. Smurtex is likely to go down. I mean, how is this even possible? Smurtex goes down. But no, it gets picked up again. Just trying to make sure that it's a clean 2-0, no points on the board. I mean, Smoke Trout are just having fun at this point. It's going to be very unlikely that we see Bigburstovic take it.
Yeah, and Tessia now picking up the flag for his team. He's going to go ahead and meet up with Maxi. Wait, is Tessia actually going to go and launch an attack with the flag? Some flag carrier on flag carrier action. He's going for the one shot. Throwing him down. Ignite should be enough. Actually, Maxi removes it there with that paralyze, saving the enemy flag carrier. Divinovic and Bublovic connecting with the sacrifice blessing as well. And Tessia, he is in big trouble here. He's going to go ahead and run away from there. He's cauterized procking. Maxi looking for the handoff.
Oh my God.
Gets it. This is just, oh my goodness. Smoke Trout is just styling on them right now.
They're using the entire map to kite this out and stall. Blizzo tosses Bublovic to the side with the Illidan's Grasp, jumping to safety. 28 seconds on the clock. Almost physically impossible, but Bigburstovic at least want 1 point on the board. That's what they're playing for, just 1 point. These guys are BMing them so much. They're like, how can they not at least get 1 point after all of this time? Smoke Trout have touched basically every pixel of the map while holding the flag at 200% increased damage. It's a best of 3. Very important to win the blind pick, as we've seen Temple of Kotmogu be so potent for Bigburstovic, but Smoke Trout, which for whatever reason totally dominates Temple of Kotmogu. This is going to be a chaotic battle. I'm curious to see how Smoke Trout decide to play it out. They have mobility at their side, so I would like to see them focus more on maybe getting control of both orbs and then cutting around the map, which they actually do have control over both orbs, but those targets will take increasingly more damage, so a risky choice, and you will lose a lot of points when you die with the orb. So maybe they will be able to utilize the mobility and get away from the Retribution Paladin of Bigburstovic. So far, so good, as they hold 2 orbs in centers. This is very big point income. Nala stuns up Lurtex, Mortal Coil as well. If Jamu can follow through and jam in a Chaos Bolt, could be curtains for Lurtex. He gets interrupted though. Chaos Bolt on Jamu is basically all that I'm watching. Lurtex just getting owned even without it. Lurtex goes down. Green orb is open. Who's going to get it? Walrus moves over. Sona at his side, but Walrus gets stunned up. Walrus trinkets out Chains of Ices, but Sona gets gripped away. Walrus with a cheeky move there to get the green orb in his possession.
Blizzo now caught up as well in the middle, using his I-beam, trying to self-sustain a little bit. Has his blur active here. Can Maxi pick him up? I'm not sure if he can. No life queen available. Drops the darkness here. He should be able to stabilize for now. Fnover's doing anything he can to keep him alive. Another Chaos Bolt from Jamu could be the curtains for Blizzo, and it is. Let's see who gets the repick up. Tessia, super quick there on that rogue, making his way down to the middle now as well. Warwick's about to go down. Green orb available for pickup, and so Sona is going to be the one who wins against Alertix there. Finally, some points on the board here for Bigburstovic, but this strategy is backfiring. I like what Smoke Trout are doing so far.
I like the Z-axis usage here with Maki and Thasia with the Shadow Step, and that's what they have in their advantage is mobility, so they need to utilize it. But of course, they can only utilize it if they control both orbs. Otherwise, the income generated from one in the center will be higher than their one on the outskirts, so they need to look to kill Sona shortly. But with their Rogue in possession, they're going to lose the stun lock to really pull that off. They're going to be relying purely on the Balance Druid and Demon Hunter burst to kill the Shadow Priest, and there's more than enough defense. Fnobbers gets picked off. The Mistweaver Macy is still just out of mana. Actually, life cocooning there. Maybe he meant to life cocoon Fnobbers, but it was a little bit too late. Blizzo is getting bursted. He's trying to jump to safety, but once again, I do believe if Bigburstovic is holding center with one node, they will pull ahead. Walrus is trying to overwhelm them, but he's overextended by himself, and Fnobbers is still dead. This is trouble. Fnobbers is rezzed. He needs to get back to the battle as soon as possible. His teammate, that Mistweaver Monk, is totally tapped on mana and unable to really keep this going for much longer. Thasia is likely to fall. Orange Orb is open. Jamma gets gripped away. Walrix is MVP on this Warlock. Blizzo is dashing over for a quick pick. Orcs Don't Die gets denied on the pick. They do manage to maintain control of the Orange Orb, at least preventing a snowball in terms of points, but they have to kill Sona soon. 180% increased damage. They can't afford to let him free cast. He also does increase damage. He's going to take down Lurtex. The entire offensive lineup, the Rogue and the Balance Druid, all of the setup is stripped away, and Bigburstovic are pulling this game back.
Yeah, and Sona doesn't have his dispersion now, and Warwick and Blizzo are doing what they can to try to take him down, but Blizzo himself in a lot of trouble. That Red Paladin, when he reaches his target, it looks like he could hear Divinovic doing all he can to take down Blizzo. Blizzo right now in that defense of the Earthen Wall Totem should be fine for a little bit, but it's gonna be close here. The next time they reconnect could be trouble. Smoke Bomb gets dropped, Nala looking for the kill. Nice Spirit Link Totem here by Orcs Don't Die, keeping Sona alive for a little bit longer. Blizzo now with a beautiful Chaos Nova. Surely Sona's going to go down. And Divinovic with their re-pick up immediately, but that's one of the healers. You don't want one of the healers. Actually, no, that's the Red Paladin. They're actually good. The Red Paladin looks good. He's going to look for Blizzo. Blizzo taking way more damage here than Divinovic, who just picked up the orb. Blizzo's hold on to it for a long time here. Blizzo is going to actually take down Divinovic there, and Thessia with the re-pick up actually letting Lurtix get it.
Yeah, I think letting the Balance Druid so the Rogue can free reign aggressively is much better, but Blizzo's is going to get annihilated. 180% increased damage taken is absolutely no way. Smoke Trout with double orb possession once again. Bigburstovic have to stop the bleeding at this point. It's going to be a massive advantage for Smoke Trout, and they're on match point. This was the map that I thought Bigburstovic could never lose on, but Smoked Trout with a quick double pick and some nice mobility around the map has managed to secure a massive lead and still continue to hold it. Lurtex and Walrix both in midfield, going to be getting bursted down. Macy denies the kill with Life Cocoon, but Chaos Bolt hits huge. Solar Beam 1 second too late, interrupts at least the follow-up. Lurtex, while charging into the opposing Destruction Warlock, I don't think he's going to be safe there. Maybe they're just trading because the green orb's on the opposite side. That's what they're doing. They're distracting the opposing team on the opposite orb side so they can get an easy pickup and continue their 2-orb hold.
That's a very, very nice strategy adaptation. We haven't really seen anybody implement a strategy like this before, but it's very clever. They'll have both of their orb users go to one side, and then they will swap one orb and re-pick that one up, reset the stacks, and keep doing that. And Smoke Trout has managed to get themselves a 500-point lead based off of this strategy, and they have the orbs on both of their orb carriers. Warwick's right now taking a little bit of damage, but it's Orcs Don't Die who is looking like he might go down. Warwick's go down, and Tessia gets the re-pick up over Sona. That's huge. If Tessia can make it back to the middle, that is going to be big for Smoke Trout. Where we see Blizzo now in the air. Surely he's going to go down when he comes down back. Nala looking for the kidney shot. If he can find it, it could be curtains. A Hammer of Justice comes out here from Divinovic. We see Yamu channeling out a Chaos Ball. It connects. Blizzo, how are you going to survive? The blur, it is enough for now, but how long is Blizzo going to be able to stay alive?
Lurtex is in position for a quick pick. Darkness, but Chaos Bolt goes through. Lurtex with the quick pick. Sona there to intercept. Macy is going to Transcendence out. He needs to drink and regenerate mana. I mean, look at this. Thasia's going to go down. Who's going to pick up Orange? Jamu in position, but Walrix grips him away. Oh, he gets Mortal Cooled. He couldn't Chains of Ice. Jamu gets the pick. They've at least stopped the bleeding. Can they take down the other orb carrier, Lurtex, and stop the point generation? Lurtex jumps out of the midfield with Wild Charge. Nobbers is keeping him up. The points are still going into Smoke Trout's bank account. Lurtex ducks for cover. I think he could safely stay on the outskirts if he wanted to. and win with the point maybe not. It's pretty close math there, and I'm not doing any NA math here today. Jamo, though, still in trouble in center field as Walrix is teeing off. Lozo is sapped. Lurtex is dragged out very far, so his point generation is much smaller and much more reduced on the outskirts, but he baited Nala. They're going to burst down Nala and that overextension, and now without the rogue, Smoke Trout will have free reign to push Bigburstovic out of this tournament entirely at this point. Blind on Bubblovich breaks out for a moment to desperation mode, keep Jamu alive. Lurtex, maybe he's overstayed his welcome. Despite killing the rogue, is still under huge fire. Can they stop the point generation? Lurtex holding on by a thread. He does get topped off. Nana's almost tapped on both sides. Burst follows through. Lurtex goes down. Sona with the pick. 2 orbs in favor of Bigburstovic. If they can hold these 2 orbs for the rest of the game, they're going to win. But they have to hold the orbs for the rest of the game. They don't. Walrix is in position. Gets the quick pick. Then moves back into mid. Nala's going to intercept. Vanish. Heroic kidney shot here shortly. Walrix could be in a bit of danger as both healers out of mana. Fnaubers has to trinket Hex. That opens him up to more crowd control. Sona is safely holding, but Walrix just needs to stay alive for a few more seconds to win the game. Just a few more seconds in midfield, and it's looking like he is going to be able to do it. Walrix with insane play on this unholy Death Knight, denying pickups, getting pickups of his own, and Smoke Trout are taking the EU tournament.